Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football Five.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing Balls to the Wall, Brian Roberts.
There he is.
Quick wit, slow feet, Ryan Robertson. Coach Jake Root.
There he is.
The walking hot take, Andrew Ramsdale. Yeah. And JT, the commish. Yeah.
Did you just wait to open that
Yeah.
Stone cold over here. Open another one.
Crop top, pop top over there. Look at this guy.
Somebody toss him one.
That beer will last all
We're getting ready to start, and this light bulb goes off in his head. He says, when he says my name, I'm going to open this beer right at the same time. So all five of the guys that listen to this that aren't a part of the podcast will be like, oh, man.
They're really
Andrew
loose
is
there.
so cool.
They're holding the signs up. We call them mechanics.
Listening to the pod. They're just holding signs.
Yeah. Baby.
Honey, what are you doing? Listen to the podcast. This
He's
guy's
about to
listening
stone
to
cold. All right, now wait a minute. Did you hear that? He just opened the beer right after he said his name.
He means business now.
MAGA.
You good with that? You good with your nickname now?
I guess.
You guess. All right. Well, good deal.
Rename your team.
No.
Question mark. That has to stay.
Andrew
It's ambiguous. Nobody knows
Andrew,
what
the
it means.
can opener Ransdale.
Yes.
So we are 1 week in the books. Week one. I got a general fantasy question because I was thinking about this over the past couple of days.
Is this what we talked about pre-microphone being on?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Brian,
We
what were
can't
we
talk
talking
about
about?
we can't talk about those things. We can't talk about those things.
Just general fantasy question. At what week do you start questioning your team? Like if you get off to a rough start.
5 minutes
After the
draft.
draft.
Okay. All right.
5.
When do you start?
Round 14. What am I doing? What direction did I go here?
I'm in the drive freaking out.
Michael Smith. I got 7 tight ends. Have no running backs. I don't know what I'm
What
going
I
to do.
love about our draft is when everything starts, everybody's sitting down, still eating, having a good time. You get to like round 7 or 8, and a couple guys start standing up. Next thing you know, it's like Wall Street, and everybody's standing up there staring at the boards, checking things off a list, looking at another like we're talking to each other for help. Nobody's really wanting to help anybody.
No, but everybody does.
No,
But you know who does it? You know who always stands over to the side? Stephen Reitmeyer.
Well, it was.
With
He's
his
cooking
one
something
sheet,
up.
with his
He's
one
cooking
sheet.
something
He just
up.
keeps walking over there and
Calm
squinting
and
at the
collect.
names. Okay.
Confident.
I think it
Oh
was
yeah, smiling.
strategic.
Yeah, and he'll nod his head. He'll go.
It was the 9th round, and I'm sitting in my chair.
Yep.
Jake's sitting beside me. Jordan was sitting beside him. Reitmeyer sitting beside him. The other 6 have a semicircle right in front of the board, so we couldn't see the board.
Yeah, I'm bad about that, dude. I'll stand right in front of it and just stare at it for 30 minutes before I make my pick.
Well, you're also half drunk by that point too, so you're trying
Dude,
to make
I
heads or
was
tails of it.
not. I was not.
He
drunk
wasn't
this year.
half drunk.
Last year.
He
Yeah, I
wasted
was.
before the
Last year I definitely was because those White Claws, man, they sneak up on me.
Tipsy Tiz. Did you see
That's
they're
not my
making a
nickname.
surge
Tipsy
now?
Tiz.
Well, and he's drinking White Claws.
I like
you.
White Claws.
Take
Have
it
more
to
alcohol in
White
it.
Claws over there.
Well, that's for another
8%.
thing.
I ain't messing with that, dude. White Claws, I don't mess with them anymore.
They're good though.
They're
very light.
tasty. They're tasty. But did they sneak up on
This segment brought to you by White Claw.
me?
They're tasty.
And they'll sneak up on you.
Yeah. So be easy with those
Watch
things.
it,
Give it to the girls.
Whoa. Check the IDs first.
So, getting on to recap week 1.
So let's look at these matchups from week 1. What was incredibly interesting about week 1 in this league is the biggest blowout. So it always pops up biggest blowout of the week, just to kind of highlight, whatever matchup got really lopsided. The biggest blowout of the week, which we're going to start with first, was victim of the system Brian Roberts against Autobahn time Josh Broach with a difference of 12.44. That being the largest.
That's a 65-yard touchdown. That could be one play.
I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, you are correct. That is wild. For that to be the biggest blowout, every matchup was less than that outside of this one. So let's go ahead and jump in to our first matchup.
I love you.
Of Brian v. Broach.
Me and Brian just literally jumped in to the matchup.
All right,
So
so
snug in here.
the original projection was 136 to a 133 in favor of Broach. The final ended up being 130 to 118 in favor of Brian. Excuse me there. Just kind of looking at, just kind of picking some stuff right off the top. Both teams had one player in the 30s. Russell Wilson for Broach and Amari Cooper for Brian. What else sticks out to you about this matchup? What was the ultimate difference maker for Brian here?
Brian's receivers. And yes, Travis Kelce counts as a receiver in my opinion. Brian, do you know your third receiver, Claypool, if you had started any of your other receivers on the bench, you win by 20+?
Yep.
Because your bench also went off.
God.
You have a nice bench, sir.
Just look at his receivers on his bench. I mean, Chase with 18, Aguilar with 15, Landry with 16.9. So, like,
Curtis Samuel was a disappointment.
I guess where Brian's, he'll probably tell you most nervous at right now is the running back position, but he's definitely not nervous at the receiver position, except for who he's going to start from week to week.
Who are you going to start from week to week?
Well, I've got to play the dance with Jamar Chase and put him in the lineup this week.
We'll talk about that when we get to this week's matchups.
No, that's the thing.
Back to the recap, Bob.
Well, dude, you had 92 points on the bench. I didn't realize you had both Detroit running backs.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, and he was talking about starting both his running backs, and if I'd have done that, I'd have been safe.
Yeah.
Which neither one of those running backs were doing anything until San Fran got up by like 40, and they just started dumping it off to them.
It was just straight big play, big play, big play.
Yep.
Barkley and Pittman. If it weren't for Pittman, I would.
Where would we be?
I'd have been screwed.
Well, I mean, basically,
because Barkley didn't do jack.
Yeah, or Jill.
No, well, he's not into her.
That's
but I mean, Pittman. Did he get hurt, or he's just not?
He's got a questionable tag for this week. I'm not quite sure what happened. I didn't check that game out. Let's see.
They did not look good. Seattle's defense looked fantastic against
Who
Indy.
was the guy for Indy last year supposed to take over? Campbell?
Paris Campbell.
Paris
He got
Campbell
hurt early.
Pascal is the
Zach
other fellow.
Pascal.
Zacchaeus.
Campbell got hurt though last year, so now Pittman's by default the number one.
Pittman ended up coming on at the end of
They drafted Pittman, I think, in like the second round last year out of USC. He's pretty good.
Adam Thielen was a big surprise to me just because
He was a red zone target last year.
Adam Thielen's good, man. He is. It's
I think
just
he's
like
one of the best route. Other than Keenan Allen, I have him.
Keenan,
maybe
Devontae,
Michael
pretty daggone so. And Michael
Thielen is extremely consistent.
he's a good receiver. It's just like last year after Justin Jefferson really emerged. That's the guy that you that's the guy that I think of when it comes to receivers for
Right.
Minnesota.
I think that Jefferson being their big play guy now makes Thielen's job a lot easier.
Their offense hasn't changed.
my
It
only-
was Diggs and Thielen. Diggs goes out of town. Jefferson stepped right into Diggs' role, and they're basically doing the same thing.
My only question on Broach is why he didn't start Montgomery.
We talked
Because they
about
were
that
playing
last
the Rams.
Montgomery ended up with 18. He starts him over any running back other than Kamara.
I would put him into flex.
Yeah, that gives him 8 additional points.
He still doesn't
He
win.
still doesn't win,
loses,
but
He looked good though.
He lost-
He ran hard.
He also lost Jerry Jeudy. He didn't start Jerry Jeudy, but losing,
Is he done for the year?
he lost him for 4 to 6 weeks.
High ankle sprain. They said probably
Yeah.
closer to 6.
Yeah, so
Those are hard to come back for a guy that's built on speed.
Exactly.
yeah, so that does suck for him.
But he's still got good receivers. It's not really going to hurt him too much.
Nah.
Tunyon, you're going to – Green Bay is going to be the name of the game for the entire recap for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We talked about it. It was going to be tough for Broach to overcome Cooper putting up 30. 32?
32.
On Thursday night. And that's exactly what happened.
That is.
Back to you, Bob, in the studio.
Do you still feel good about, again, we all picked Broach, or most of us picked Broach in our, predictions for like the season long. We still feel good about this team after week 1?
It's week 1. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too.
Brian, I think you've got a lot of upside too as well.
I just got to figure it out. I got to find who I need to
If
put
Saquon
in
comes back,
yeah, like your
and
team
he gets
gets really
I'll
dangerous.
take Barkley to Barkley. If I don't get that, then I'll stay. But, again, it's week 1.
Because Josh Allen didn't have a good – he had 19, and that's not a Josh Allen type game. You're not going to get that from Mark Cooper every week, but I like your upside a lot.
Thank you, Daddy.
I like your downside.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's go to our second matchup was Jake Jordan. Let's see. I'm in matchup. I'm in week 2. Let me go back to week 1.
Time machine.
No week 11 undefeated Jordan this year.
Nope, ain't happening.
Not gonna do it.
So the live projection, or excuse me, the original projection was 140 to 136 in favor of Jake. The final ended up being 121 to 113 again in favor of Jake. All right, well, Jake, how did this matchup go for you? Just speaking on, just the matchup in general when you enjoyed it.
A couple of disappointments. I thought Tannehill might go off against a bad Arizona defense. They struggled. The whole offense on Tennessee struggled, which really hurt my bold prediction, by the way. And then Zeke was a little rough. Pitts, I think Atlanta's offense sucked. But Joe Mixon looked good.
Dude, Joe Mixon looked really good. How many carries did he have?
24, maybe 26.
That's a lot.
And they've already said, without Gio there, he is going to be a bell cow.
And it was in a high-scoring game.
Well, 27, but overtime game. So
29 carries and 4 catches.
29. So he had 33 touches.
The game did go to overtime, but still, 33 touches.
Did that game go to almost a full overtime?
Yeah, Cincinnati kicked the field goal to win it. I think with a couple minutes left.
They had been deep and something happened. There was a couple of crazy things.
Took a rookie kicker, game winner.
How do you feel about Kyle Pitts after week 1?
I still feel good about him. I think the offense struggled. I was talking with someone else about it, and they always said rookie tight ends sometimes take the longest.
That's what Hawkinson.
Because they have to learn.
Was he good last year?
What they like to do is they like to shrink down the route tree as they go to what they're more comfortable with.
Because they don't have to just learn routes, too. They have to learn offensive line protections, too.
But Kyle Pitts also,
he's a slaughter.
Matt Ryan's not going to have any time to throw.
Because Russell Gage underperformed.
Huh?
Russell Gage underperformed.
Atlanta underperformed.
The whole team, even Ridley didn't do anything.
But the thing is, they have no offensive line.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that pride does.
Matt Ryan's not going to have a lot of time to throw, so I think Kyle Pitts is going to be his.
Kyle Pitts had 8 targets in a blowout, and when they didn't look good. Just imagine what happens if they're never going to look good.
They're going to have to check down him a lot.
Cooper Kupp ended up good for you, Jake.
Yeah, I wish I had started Stafford.
What did Stafford end up with?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Stafford, I believe, is going to be your quarterback for the rest
20
of the
for
year.
23, 3 touchdowns.
And some vertical kind of offense. I think Robert Woods even had a down week, and he'll be better moving forward. I think he's got 2 best receivers, 2 best at the same time. He's had studs in Detroit, but not a number 2 to kind of.
No, he's had to just lock onto one guy and hope he's open.
So looking at Jordan's team, he was literally top heavy. He had 3 players scoring double digits, and those were his top 3 players in his lineup: Tom Brady, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, in descending order.
Yes.
Outside of that, it was all single digits. Derrick Henry, I guess, being the biggest disappointment.
No, he's definitely the biggest.
By far.
Well,
Mark Andrews didn't really do anything in a heavy pass. Well, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. Did Baltimore pass a lot, or
they went downfield? They didn't go underneath.
Yeah, it was kind
they
of
were passing.
They were either running it or they were throwing it downfield to
this
Sammy.
Hollywood Brown went on.
Well, like I said, I didn't keep up with the game. I just saw one.
You looked at me at halftime and said Derrick Henry had how many yards?
It was 9 carries for 6 yards.
It was, I think when I looked, it was 8 for 9. It's in the third quarter.
I had to look at my phone to see if he got hurt.
I think it's going to be interesting with Tennessee because Derrick Henry is a volume running back.
And
he gets better the more carries he gets.
He didn't get a ton of carries, and they didn't throw play action, so Tannehill didn't look as good.
It's my Super Bowl pick.
That's Jake's Super Bowl
He
pick.
still got 17 carries in a game that they got blown out in.
Yeah,
I think a lot of those ended up coming in the.
They were garbage time
half,
when they were playing prevent. Yeah,
yeah.
All of his yards pretty much came from a soft box.
Yeah. Just looking at these 2, so Jay had 3 guys overperform their projection. Jordan had 2, but it really comes to Jake. You had some guys that just kind of got right around their projection. Jordan,
well under.
Yeah, on most.
I said it earlier. The thing that made me a little happy is I lost to Jordan twice on Sunday night or Monday Night Football last year. I feel like he got almost everybody in a situation like that where I felt like he was almost out of it. He had a guy going or 2 guys going, and they had to have the best game of their lives.
Yep.
And I remember I think didn't he have Lamar last year as well?
I think Michael had Lamar last year, didn't he?
I thought he had him in the the Turk game, and he came back out after he went and took the dump and came back to the 40-yard touchdown pass to.
He might have.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember Jordan. I felt like last year, like he owned Sunday night, Monday night, and Mark Andrews, I think, had to get 12 in order to beat me. And I went to sleep at halftime, and I was like, man, I just know it's Jordan. He's gonna pull it out. But
it's one of those things where you go into Sunday night or Monday night thinking, oh man, I got this in the bag unless this happens.
Yeah.
And every time it was like, well, if I'm playing Jordan, this is gonna happen, and it does.
All right, so Jordan goes to 0-1. Jake goes to 1-0. Let's go to our third matchup. Our third matchup is – it keeps taking me back to week 2. Third matchup is the Fantasy Phenoms versus Cult of Personality. Another tight one.
Tight, son.
So the original projection was 143 to 132 in favor of –
Well done on being right at your projection, by the way.
Screw you
One
for
to
going
know.
that far over. Somebody's not playing by the rules.
Who are we trying to impress, you jerk?
So, yeah, it was in favor of me to start off, but it ends up going to Ryan, 146 to 143.
you got caught in a pickle, didn't you?
All right, so Brandon Ayuk's having a goose egg, not even having a target. Obviously hurt. And then Pittsburgh blocking a punt and getting
returning
that
it for a
touchdown.
touchdown.
That was it, dude. That's the difference because that doesn't happen week to week.
No, well, Pittsburgh's defense was dominant last year until Bud Dupree got hurt. I drafted him this year, and I was like, man, they need to. Bud Dupree's not there, and T.J. Watt was holding out at the time. I said, T.J., come back. Like 4 days before the game, they extend T.J. Watt, and he comes in. He just was a wrecking ball in there.
Dude, our quarterbacks went all out. Quarterback matchup here. Kyler Murray won it 41 to 39 over Pat Mahomes. But that was a shootout. Tyreek Hill ended up being the biggest beneficiary of that KC passing attack. And that again, ultimately, you got some bonus points there.
Sure, and what Pat Mahomes was getting his points on.
175?
Yeah, they kicked.
I think it's 175.
Yeah, they kick in at
That's
175.
5 or no, 2.
5. So he picked up an
Yeah.
additional 5 points there.
And that's one of those things we talked about where you said, I'm not as worried about my receiver going against my quarterback because touchdowns are even.
But
bonus points are not even.
Yeah, bonus points are not even.
Yeah.
You got to hit, what we say, 450
Right.
bonus points for
I think it's 450, 500, 550.
550 ain't getting touched.
If it does, it's going to be like
It
that.
don't matter who else you got on your team.
It's like that Rams-Chiefs Thursday night game a couple years ago where it was just a shootout. Or no, that was San Fran and the Rams, I think.
That was last year, wasn't it?
It's the one that was supposed to be in Mexico, and I think they moved it because of
That was last year.
We don't
years
discuss
before.
something. That's why it got moved, but it got moved.
It did get moved. He moved. Still
He moved.
Both of us got burnt in that San Francisco game. I had IU put up a goose egg, and you had Mostert get hurt early.
Mostert was averaging 10 yards a carry. He only had 2 of them, though.
Unfortunately for Mostert, he is going to be out for the year.
Yep.
Do you remember what round you got him in? Just
Yeah.
curious. 5th round?
Well, no, let's see. I went running back, 3 wide receivers, and then Mostert. So, yeah, 5th.
So, yeah, 5th round. Losing a 5th round pick week 1, that obviously hurts.
But I kind of went 0 RB. I was like, I'm going Eckler and then just some pass-catching running backs. And so now I have one less of those fellas.
Yeah, looks like you had 4 guys outperform. 3 of them highly outperformed their projection.
No, I had a couple of those receivers on the bench that well exceeded those expectations.
Your bench looked really good too. Debo.
I had 2. I think
Corey
You didn't start Debo?
I had 2 of the 3 highest scoring receivers in the league. I think with Debo and Tyreek, and only started one of them.
Corey Davis did good.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. He had a nice one in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he did.
Zach Wilson rolling out. But that game
out.
Yeah, that game was weird.
Ugly to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Kyler Murray looked good.
Yep. He's a handsome man.
All right, so Ryan goes to 1-0. JT goes to 0-1. Let's go to our 4th matchup, which was Reitmeyer-Michael, which was the closest matchup last week.
That about got blown out because of that Lamar fumble in overtime.
So this was a close matchup to begin with the original projection before the Thursday night games, 131 to 132 in favor of Michael. Michael ends up pulling it out by 0.66, 115 to 114.34. I guess the difference maker, let's see. So Michael won on Monday night.
This is Michael, right?
Yeah, that's Michael. Trying to think.
He was just real consistent right here.
He was. Because he had Lamar Jackson going Monday night. I think that was the only player going, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it was.
Got him just enough for him to pull it out.
Giggity.
Like he had it going. If the game wouldn't have gone to overtime, I think he had it better than that. And then it went into overtime, and Lamar fumbled in overtime. If he would have lost yardage instead of gaining that like 5 yards before he fumbled, if he'd have just got at the line or when he dropped back and fumbled, he would have lost the 5 yards and the fumble, and it probably could have cost him the game. That would have been brutal, where you have the matchup won and then there's negative.
Who's that guy?
So let's see. Looking at Michael's receivers, his highest receiver last week was Antonio Brown, which we looked at on Thursday night. His two early receivers he took, Devontae Adams and Calvin Ridley, both of them had a tough game. On Reitmeier's side of the ball, his receivers look very good. Tyler Lockett, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards.
Mike Gesicki only had 3 targets.
He got a game without Will Fuller.
He was on the field for I think less than 50% of the tight end snaps. He was getting out snapped by
a lot of
like Adam Shaheen
Adam
or somebody.
Shaheen didn't even play, but if he did play,
I don't know who the other guy was though. There was another tight end that played more than Gesicki did. So I have no clue what was going on.
Gesicki got dropped as well.
How much stock do we put in that Melvin Gordon game?
How much stock?
Yeah.
He had a 70-yard touchdown. I'm not putting a ton in it.
who's got Melvin go? I don't even know who he did.
Reitmeier's Melvin Gordon.
Ryan would have him if he didn't think he was drafted 5 rounds before.
Well, I think they split pretty even between.
I think it was like
Melvin
10 or 11
Gordon
carries, 10 or 11 carries.
And Williams. Melvin Gordon had a big rushing touchdown, 70 yards.
Yeah, like a 70-yard touchdown, I think. I think he had like right at 100 yards, and one of them was a 70-yard touchdown. So
if Jalen Hurts would have been started by Michael, it's a very different matchup. Jalen Hurts ended up putting 34 up on his bench.
How much stock you putting in that?
I do have a stat for y'all. I saw the other day.
Let's hear the stat.
In 5 career starts, he's gone over 300 passing yards twice.
Jalen Hurts has?
Yes. Lamar Jackson, in however many starts he's had,
A season and a half, and then yesterday or this
yeah,
past week.
and
It's right around 20.
I think they said he's done it
22.
once. Jalen Hurts already has more 300-yard passing games than what Lamar has so far. And they were like saying for the dual threat quarterback.
Sure.
So then a lot of people bashed on Jalen saying he couldn't throw the ball. They're like, well,
Yeah, he can.
When Jalen went to Oklahoma, man, he was a whole different mindset.
And he played for
looked
Nick
up
Saban, who made you throw to
Right.
the receivers.
I think
Jalen's fine if you give him a
Jalen's
supporting
gonna be good.
cast around him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, last year he had Travis Fulgham as his number 1 wide receiver. That's
Yeah.
not ideal.
So do you start Jalen going forward
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not over Lamar.
over Lamar?
I would.
Matchup.
Yeah, you play the
But
matchups
the
there.
matchup.
But the thing is, the
why I
draft
can't
capital,
have
A
him
game
two
where
quarterbacks.
Lamar's going to have to
I don't
throw,
like
you
that
probably
decision.
don't start him.
but the draft capital he had to spend on Lamar, it's almost you almost feel obligated that you think you have to start him. But at the same time, you play who's productive.
So what's the one thing, if I was listening to that stat, I'd be like, well, clearly Lamar isn't going to be like torturing me with his arm. So more people are now going to load the box, but other than loading the box to go against running game and quarterback, I think they're telling everyone to go hit Lamar. Like,
Just get some bodies on him.
let's see if the 8th string running back can actually do it a whole season like that.
They're going to have to throw it, though. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
They're going to have to. And I'm not. I don't
Maybe
think
he just hasn't had to do it yet, and he's capable of doing it. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if you're telling me
We thought the
over
same thing.
20-some games and he's had one game over 300, like that's telling me he's never really been asked to.
That was
air it
kind
out.
of Michael Vick in Atlanta for a long time, and then he goes to Philly and had that one season where he was just the best football player that's ever lived. He was basically Madden
He
04.
was. He was.
He was, dude. He was incredible.
He
Yeah.
was. Incredible.
That prison body helps, man. That does.
And it made him a better football player
He's already
too.
been at the bottom of the pile a couple times, if you know what I'm saying.
Both teams ended
He's
up
a fighter.
underperforming, but ended up being definitely the closest matchup of the week. A lot of fun. Let's look at our
You got to get the finish.
matchup of the week from week 1, which was the Battle of the Andrews. And this one came down to
Intense.
Monday night.
Monday Night Football.
So the original projection was 125 to 136 in favor of Scorp. Rans Diddy ended up squeaking it out. 133 to 116. Both teams underperformed their original projection, but even though Aaron Rodgers put up 1.32 points,
Come on, man.
That's a Jay
Andrew
Cutler.
Ramsdale, Baba Booey, was able to pull it out on Monday night.
That's a Jay Cutler stat line.
Jay Cutler, that's one of his better.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not bring it.
If Jake starts Jay Cutler,
It's negative.
there's a chance of negative points.
Yeah,
All right, so
I don't think
let's look. Go ahead because you know what's going to come up.
Did you drop him already?
No, he dropped the quarterback that got him the most points.
Referee sent pledge.
I dropped my other boy.
While we're on the subject,
Samuel?
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
did I not say that Sam Darnold was going to outscore Aaron Rodgers week 1?
You didn't.
You did.
You proclaimed it.
Have I not said for the longest time though that Darnold is a good quarterback?
I'm going to tell you what.
You'd be the
Darnold
only.
would never
I don't think
outscore
he's
Brett
ever put
Favre.
up this
I
many
can
points.
guarantee you that.
I don't think he's ever put up this many points. And he goes
Aaron
to
Rodgers,
Carolina
I
and a
think
good
he's done a
system.
little bit better than this.
All right. Did you ever think about starting Darnold over Rodgers?
No,
Did you ever
regret
think about?
not starting Darnold over Rodgers?
no, because Rodgers is going to be MVP again.
Were you thinking when you
He's not off
drafted
to a good
Darnold?
start.
Give him a second. What?
I said, were you thinking when you drafted Darnold, or did you just black out there for a little bit?
No, I think Scorp had pissed me off because he done drafted.
He
two
took a
Bears.
Bears tight end.
So I was like, well,
He
I better
took
get
Cole Kmet.
I better get one of my boys because someone's going to draft him.
Yeah.
And then you dropped him after week 1?
Well, because I saw
You might want to pick him back up.
opportunity in a
So did you
relevant
think-
running back.
As of
I'm-
right now, you don't
I'm
have
going
a
to stick
quarterback.
it to an Eagles fan, so I'm going to take the Panthers quarterback.
You got him.
Got him.
He barely outscored Ronald Jones.
That's true.
And
I
Ronald
got
Jones.
a
He got negative
We got
0.6.
negative points. They said if you're alive, basically, you scored more fantasy points this week than Ronald Jones.
Yeah, that makes me feel better about my week.
Yeah.
Looking at the rest of your team, though, Ramsey,
I know.
they
It's
performed.
not bad. It's good.
Kittle had a decent game, 4 receptions, 78 yards, just didn't find the end zone. And then Cleveland against KC, yeah.
Darren
Waller had 19
targets.
Darren Waller's going to lead the NFL in targets.
Feel good, don't it?
Maybe not over Keenan Allen, but
But he's going to have a lot of targets for
He
sure.
will.
Yeah, the rest of your team, dude.
Mike Williams too.
Especially when Gruden came out and said Darren Waller is the best football player that I've ever coached.
Absolutely.
We're going to continue to feed him the ball. Like,
that's-
throw some
I
respect on
like
Brad
Gruden.
Johnson's name.
I like Gruden, but every week he makes me not want to like him. He gives
I'm
me
not a
so many reasons to not like him.
Knock on wood.
Frank Caliendo was the only reason I can still tolerate John Gruden. Frank Caliendo's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
familiar
sure.
with his work.
I've
I've seen
John
his
Madden-
catalog a time or two.
Did Jonathan Madden, was one of the guys.
What about him?
Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work.
Also a Raiders coach for another connection.
Look at that.
Also Monday Night Football
Can we talk
commentator.
about my damn matchup?
We already
Aaron
did.
Rodgers
Talk about everyone
sucks.
else.
Aaron Rodgers sucked and you
Talk
got
about
lucky.
Well,
Done.
Chubb and Hunt worked out for you, man. Worked out really good for you. You ended up
Chubb
chubbing
and
Hunt.
Hunt is not good going down.
You ended up picking 36.
Borderline freak on the reach.
36 points there, both of them.
Let's go. We're on a reach.
Freak on a reach.
Front row.
Yeah, Chubb and Hunt both.
You remember that?
Front row, yeah. Front row.
The fact that Jake is molding young minds and said front row and they were supposed to know what he was talking
Front
about.
row? No, it's front row. You know, like exit.
You
Permanent
see after
shotgun.
class.
Looking at Scorp's side of the ball. Looking at Scorp's side of the ball, Najee Harris underperformed.
Yeah.
With only 5.4 projected, 15.47. I didn't really watch any of that game.
That
And
was a
again, I don't know much about
dogfight
Najee
beginning.
Harris. I said that last
Ugly offense. Pittsburgh's defense dominated.
He was
That's
the
all you
only
need to know.
running back in the NFL last week to play 100% of snaps.
Yep.
Good stat. Good stat.
Which
You are
that's
right.
what Pittsburgh. If you're playing under Tomlin, you're number one running back. You're getting all the touches.
That
All
Goddard
of
trade helped him out.
That Goddard trade. Yeah, Goddard picked up a touchdown, 4 receptions, 42 yards.
I think Cole Kmet had a decent game too, but he wasn't. I don't know if he started him.
Yeah, who knows?
He basically started right. He only had one player on his bench that could have helped
Yeah,
him.
Devontae Smith over Mike
Henderson
Evans,
or
but
Everton.
you're not
You're not
doing
pinching
that.
Mike
You're not
Evans.
doing that.
But
Mike Evans, you got to imagine, is going to have some better games.
with our Jalen Hurts connection a while ago, are we now going to say that Smith's almost kind of a guy he's got to
Smith.
have into his lineup?
Smith.
I'm going to tell you,
good.
Smith's got a chip on his shoulder from the way everybody talked about
Who
him
do you
before the
take
draft.
out of his lineup?
Daryl Henderson, but he's the
He-
If
Yeah,
you're going
I
to take
know.
out Daryl Henderson, then you got to put Henderson in at the other running back
You
slot.
can't.
instead of Harris.
You
That's the
can't.
only other thing you could do.
That's the thing. Like he's not going to start Devontae Smith over any of those three receivers.
Right,
At least
it's-
for the time being.
It's difficult to put a rookie in over other established veterans.
He might have to package some players together to upgrade another one and then slide Smith in there. But
He could, or he could just keep depth because you never know what's going to happen in terms of injuries.
very true.
And
That does happen.
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing.
Thank you,
Once
Boomhauer.
you get to like week 10, I
Who's
think
healthy.
it's who's healthy. And if you've got depth, you're trying to package and get upgrade your team. But like early in the year, I think you got to keep.
Yeah,
depth.
that's the risk when you're like, man, I gotta upgrade my team. Got to have the best starting lineup. Like, yeah, you don't do that week 2. You do that week 12, 13,
That's
14.
what, like, we were talking about. Like, I don't think you really win it on draft night, but I mean, you can lose it in case you just don't prepare for what if someone goes down. I have someone ready to kind of take this position or that position.
Yeah, he's got some depth at receiver. He's got some depth at receiver, running backs. Tevin Coleman, Jones. I don't even know first name here. Jones Jr.
Roy. I think it's Troy. I think it's like Troy though.
Yeah, but he does have some.
Tony. Anthony Jones Jr.
He does have some
He
leeway.
looks
when it
like an
comes to
Anthony. I didn't expect Baltimore's defense to give up 33 points.
Not to Vegas.
Vegas looks good first 4 or 5 weeks of the season under Gruden, and then they just implode. Unless they're playing Kansas City.
That game went completely different than what I thought. Well, actually, it went exactly
This
what I was
game or
thinking
the
early.
KC Vegas game.
Huh?
Which game you talking about? The one he just brought up?
Casey, I
Or
said
this one?
I said last year, like every year Vegas starts off the season hot, and then they just fall apart, except for when they're playing Kansas City. Like I said, we talked about before we started recording that Kansas City got beat by Vegas last year, and then almost got beat by them a second time last year.
Well, Baltimore went up 14-0, and that's what I expected.
Yes.
It's like coming out, running the football, scoring early, and then just keeping that lead. And then Derek Carr just said, you know what?
Hey, Darren Waller's got to be out there somewhere.
I'm going to throw it to him.
Did
And
you-
then Brian Edwards had the weirdest, good game.
Where Derek Carr didn't know he existed till like 2 minutes ago in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and
And then just peppered him with targets on third down.
yeah, ends up having a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Zay Jones ends up coming up huge.
Dude, that's the first time Zay Jones' name's been mentioned since he did that thing in Buffalo where he was out of bounds and stood up like he was. You remember that? Where he
Yeah, I do
stood up
remember
and
that.
did like a reverse moonwalk type thing?
I do think there's something kind of interesting here is I feel like every year Oakland's gotten a receiver that they're trying to force feed the ball to. And I feel like Carr's always kind of I guess I got to throw the ball to this guy, and he dramatically underperforms. This year they don't have that guy.
No.
They even let their number one receiver from last year go.
Yep. Nelson Aguilar.
No.
Yep,
Nelson
thank
Aguilar.
you. And so I think this year the one thing that is going to happen is I feel like he's just going to drop back and just kind of make his reads and throw it, and not feel like, oh my God, I got to throw it to Antonio Brown or I got to throw it to Amari Cooper.
Antonio Brown.
It's if that's the case though, it's Waller.
Yeah,
That's
true.
his first and second read basically now because he doesn't have a wide receiver who can do that. That Manning cast.
Yeah.
they were talking about it Darren Waller I think had 3 straight receptions and then he took a play off and they said look Derek Carr looked confused and I think Peyton was like yes because he's looking for Waller and he's on the sideline. He's like John what are you doing? Give me Waller back.
Gotta throw it to that guy.
Yeah, I need him.
Hey, don't have to
He did have 19 targets. my
19
bad.
targets in a game, but still, yeah, that's
You ain't got to talk about Manning.
So in the Battle of the Andrews, Andrew Sperry drops to 0-1. Andrew Ransdale goes to 1-0.
good job, Andrew. We all were behind you.
Yeah. Right.
So after week 1, that's got to be the biggest time for your waiver wire.
Darn
Because,
right.
again, everybody's basing a
Waiver
lot
wire.
off what they took from the draft.
The waiver
You
wild
get,
wrap
the,
up.
you get the first look at, what teams are going to be doing, scheme, strategy. And you see some guys that may be out there that you want to spend some fab on. So let's take a look at that.
Was your draft and your offseason analysis that you thought was going to happen, did it come through in week 1 or did something completely change where you said, hey, I need to make a pickup?
Well, there was one huge pickup this week.
Dodge 3500. Oh, that's a big old boy.
with the Raheem Mostert
No, we don't
injury.
bringing up old stuff.
Eli Mitchell came in, and Eli Mitchell, he had 19 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown in a Shanahan offense. So that led, let's see, how many bids did we have on him? We had 6 total. Six total bids. The winning bid, to
Christian Yelich.
$43.
Justin Jefferson of 2021.
The George Kittle.
Because what did I spend on Jefferson last year? 41-ish.
You spent, I think,
like 40.
55 on Kittle the first year we did Fab, I think.
I
And
don't
people
know. I
had
don't
no
remember
clue
that
what
far.
was going on.
And
And it worked out.
so, just explain your bid.
What
behind this.
Explain
the
yourself.
most obvious reason is because Mostert got hurt and San Fran runs the ball.
Yes,
And then Jeff Wilson was on the free. He was still a free agent.
Yep.
Coming back.
In like week 8
I
or
could
week
put him
9.
in my IR spot.
Here.
Sermon got benched, so I don't know how much they're going
Yeah,
to
he'll be back on Sundays, though.
And I think Eli Mitchell has definitely earned a spot or a role in that offense, even though it was a bad Detroit defense.
Sure, but it's
Sure.
opportunities in a Shanahan
it
offense,
was-
though, look good.
5 yards a carry, which isn't bad. More than that, right?
Yeah, it was.
Shanahan's have
19
been known to take a no-name guy and ride them the whole year. And
Not
all
to
of a sudden
mention
they get 100
Jack-
yards a game.
James Robinson
Robinson?
was similar
Robertson.
when he
I think he'd be a good
undrafted
running
last
back.
year.
No, I thought you drafted him in
No,
the
but
draft.
he was undrafted, like an undrafted.
He did get drafted in the NFL draft.
He was an undrafted rookie. Yes.
The thing I think is crazy, though, is Sermon was a second-round draft pick in the NFL draft. Whole lot of draft cap. And then
You had the logic.
and then your boy Elijah Mitchell was a 6th-round rookie. Like, why would you have the 6th-round guy be active and Sermon be inactive? But it's almost like
Any idea why they
inactivated
Yeah,
Sermon.
any
I don't know.
idea behind that?
I
You
have
have to
no
think
idea.
they spent that much draft capital on him that they're going to utilize him at some point.
He had to preach.
I think they said he's going to be active, but yeah, the service ran a little bit late. Once if they go to like 4:00 kickoffs and they can have the church service
Right.
and then go out and eat dinner,
The
the
Pentecostals, you know how
yeah.
long they go.
the potluck, and then if they have that 4:00 start like they usually do, he'll be right there in the game.
That is true.
Trey will be available
So
after the service.
43 ended up being the winning offer. Other offers were 22, 21, or 2 at 21, 1 at 11, 1 at 5.
Thought I had him at 5.
I thought I had him at 22. Looking at everybody else's in a normal price range because I lost most really wanted.
Did
him,
you
and then
put that in and keep it there? Did you adjust your offer?
I had it at 22. I said I don't want to spend any
Not
more
much.
than this.
Did you? Or did
No,
you
I
just
put 43 in.
He put 88. He's like, that's too much.
I didn't accidentally type in a Christian Yelich amount.
Yes.
Yes.
The second,
Reaching for the stars is what he said.
88?
the second,
Dale Jr.?
the second
Yes,
biggest
Des Bryant, indeed.
Fab winning went to me with Rob Gronkowski. I got him with $13. The other offers there were 8, 7, and 5. When I was looking at Gronk, it comes down to just I want a piece of that.
How did he not
Oh,
get drafted?
okay.
Dude, honestly, I have no clue.
Well, last year he didn't do a whole lot.
He was coming off retirement.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thinking behind it. Like, he didn't play for a year. He comes back.
And if him and Tom Brady had better cell reception, he would have stayed retired,
True.
Those commercials aren't lying to me.
I just want a piece of that passing attack because that's going to be
Yeah, give me a slice of that pie.
nice. He had 2 touchdowns in week
Because
1.
Tom Brady's a snack, if you know what I'm talking about.
I hate you.
Dude, all right, so I was on Reddit the other day, and then
Which Reddit?
It's a TikTok for our generation. It's all
Oh, I'm
text.
behind the generation now.
Yeah. No, you're ahead of us.
Yeah,
you're
you're
ahead
ahead
of
of
us.
us. But
I
it
don't know
was
what Reddit is.
it said, "Don't worry, you're not poor, you're not ugly, you're just poor." And it showed a picture of
Yeah.
Tom Brady in 2002
Where he
and then a
was chubby
picture
and like,
of Tom Brady in 2019.
yes.
He looked so much better in 2019 than he did when he was a rookie.
There's a lot of people
not
that have
really.
shown that. We're like, oh yeah, you're not yet. Well, they get
I
better.
don't know. I find it interesting.
Yes.
So you picked up Gronk.
He's apparently.
What were we talking? That's what we're talking about.
According to this
Yeah.
segment, you look like you're trying to pick up Tom Brady.
I like
if you know
Tom
what I'm
Brady.
talking about.
The other Fab acquisitions were Kenneth Gainwell to Michael for $4. There was a claim for $0
That was me.
by Ryan. Michael got him, and then Latavius Murray also went to Ryan for $12. No other bids. Then Tim Patrick went to Ryan for $4. Again, no other bids. So Ryan ended up spending a little bit of Fab when it came down to it.
Well, I spent tried to spend 22 on Elijah Mitchell because I lost Mostert, and I didn't get him, but Andrew dropped Latavius Murray to get Mitchell. So I was like, well, if I can't get the San Francisco backfield that I wanted when I had Mostert, I'll get Williams and Murray and try to get the Ravens backfield.
Makes sense.
Which the best running back for the Ravens happens to play quarterback, so I'm not actually getting the backfield at all. But what can you do?
Lots of things.
That's true.
All right, so we ready? Week 2. Yeah.
Records from week 1.
Oh,
Predictions.
good. So let's take a look back at last week. Jake, Ransdiddy, and Ryan all went 3-2. Brian, me and you went 2-3. Everybody missed on the Cult of Personality Fantasy Phenoms matchup. And then looks like we split on Jordan Jake. That ends up being the difference between these. So let's take a look at our matchups for week 2 of the fantasy football season.
Week 2.
All right, starting from
The bottom.
6-10 matchup. Cult of Personality.
Brian, who you playing?
Funny.
That's good.
That was a hype joke.
6-10 matchup. Cult of Personality versus Jordan of Jordan's football team. Our original projection at 138 to 135 live projection. Again, being 138 to 131. Jordan did have Kenny Galladay go on Thursday night. The projection of 9.98 ended up with 5.3.
That boy was not happy on the sideline in the fourth quarter. Did y'all see him? Galladay. He either blew up at Daniel Jones or Jason Garrett. They
Oh,
were standing
yes.
side
It
by
was
side.
Daniel Jones.
He was screaming at him, and they had to separate him.
Did Daniel Jones
He didn't look
They
bad.
look pretty good.
You gotta
He
keep them
is
separated.
sneaky athletic, and they don't use him enough in that read option game. Because I think probably when he tripped and fell in that wide open run last year,
Yeah.
and he had like a 40-yard touchdown Monday night and called back for a hold. So
He did. He looked pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Jake, who you taking in JT v. Jordan?
JT.
okay,
You want to know why?
Nah.
I'm good with it. All right. Jake's taking me. I don't need to hear anything else. Yeah, give us some reasoning behind that.
You want to know why?
I bet you do.
McCaffrey's a beast. I mean, he put up, 18, 19 last week?
22.
22 didn't even get in the end
Didn't
zone.
get in the end
Good
zone.
enough to lose.
Yeah. That's the difference to me. I think everything else will be a close. I think the receivers, that'll be a good matchup. I think even quarterback could be a good matchup. I mean, I still think you might have the advantage there, Mahomes. But I think you're going to win it at running back. I think McCaffrey's a beast, especially with Josh Jacobs out this week. I think Kenyon Drake might actually fit a little bit better, kind of getting a lot of time because he's a better pass-catching back out of the backfield, and kind of see how that goes.
And he's not splitting carries because that Monday night it was Jacobs in for some snaps, Drake in for some snaps, which I think Jacobs was coming off an illness and an ankle and a toe injury, so he was on and off the field. So he might be getting used more, but yeah, it's not going to be much of a split. He's going to get a lot of work. Drake is.
Yeah, I got it for the running back reason.
Okay. Ransdiddy, who are you taking?
How's that food you eating there, bud?
I'm gonna take Jordan. What food?
I don't know. You're making a bunch of sounds like something you.
All right,
I'm
taking
gonna take
Jordan. All right, what sticks out to you?
The what?
What sticks out to you?
Again, Hopkins and Allen, a lot of targets. I think there's going to be more catches. Derrick Henry's going to have a bounce back week, and I think Edwards-Helaire is going to be involved more in the game against Baltimore.
I heard a stat.
That was a lot of information, quick, succinct. I like it, bud. I'm proud of
I heard
you.
a stat talking about KC throws their running backs more against Baltimore than they do any other team.
I didn't hear that stat, by the way.
Yeah, because they play straight man-to-man on the
Right.
outside, and you've got a running back on a linebacker. It's a matchup you hope to win most of the time.
So I think that's a good point you bring up. All right, so I got you down for Jordan. Brian, who you taking?
I'm also going to take Jordan.
Okay.
There's a lot of players going against Atlanta. Kind of helps a lot.
It does help.
And I don't see Derrick Henry having a bad week against Seattle. My question marks for him are Smith-Schuster. Pretty much just Smith-Schuster. Because I think Hop's going to do good against Minnesota. I think overall the matchup looks good. You with Gronkowski, though, I mean, you can take away some of those Brady points.
Maybe.
And you're going back to your double tight end strategy you've used for the last 4 or 5 years. You got away from it for 1 week. So I don't feel
Can't.
comfortable.
I
I don't like this. I
Hey,
want to
I will say this.
say it. Don't spread it.
I've won 3 championships. Gronk was on every team. So
That's true.
How many times have you got Gronk?
4
4
times.
Okay.
Because 1 year he got hurt. So, I like
75%?
yes, I had to pick him up. But I want a piece of that.
How mad would you have been if somebody put $14 on Gronk?
Really mad? I
I was going to pick up Chris Gronkowski.
I ended up going as high as 18, and I scaled it back to 30.
Yeah. I mean, you still got him.
Yeah, true. Ron, who are you taking in this?
Give me the Colt.
Okay.
I like his personality. It's bubbly. And
Man,
it's got
I'm
McCaffrey.
really hating you
It's
tonight.
Calvin Caffrey. That's the main
That's
reason.
basically what it is, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because he was the number 1 running back last week and didn't score a touchdown.
It is always.
I
it's
don't think he's
difficult.
going to do that again.
It's
Darnold looked
difficult.
his way a lot.
Early
Oh,
out.
the first quarter, every play was to him. Either he ran it or he called it.
Yeah, and then they don't lose that fumble on that 4th
Yeah.
down in the red zone.
Yeah.
Maybe he scores there.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I'm going to take Jordan here. I've been looking at this matchup all week. I really like his team matchups, like Brady against Atlanta.
Who they're playing?
Yeah, Keenan Allen against Dallas. Henry against Seattle. Edwards-Helaire against Baltimore, and then Mark Andrews against KC. I just like his matchups.
They got-
I think Dallas's defense is a little underrated, though.
They could be. I mean, they
They've,
played Tampa in week
DeMarcus
1.
Lawrence.
They lost their superstar pass rusher. He broke his foot. He's
They
out.
did,
And then
yeah.
another defensive lineman's out. And I think 2 of their safeties are questionable or doubtful. So they've got a lot of people hurt.
So they're underrated
They're undermanned.
because they're undermanned.
It's because of the Cowboys.
Yes.
Get it.
Brokeback Mountain.
How about them Cowboys? I'm going to take Jordan. I think it's going to be a close matchup. I just like his. Again, his.
He's like the cut of his jib. I understand.
I like his team.
It's got to
Player
be used at least
matchups.
once a year.
Kind of jib.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big jib guy. All right, next
I'm a
we
jib
got
guy. Extra crunchy.
Ron v. Andrew. So let's take a look at.
Which Andrew?
You.
This is you. So let's take a look at question mark Baba Booey versus for the Fantasy Phenoms. Fantasy Phenoms got out to a hot start with 22 from Terry McLaurin. The original projection was 138 to 135. The live projection now reading 147 to 135 due to McLaurin's big game. Brian, looking at this matchup, who are you taking?
Well, Dallas's defense is so overrated, and they also have a lot of guys out. I think Eckler's going to have himself a big game. What?
Well said. Well said.
I mean, look, man. Rodgers obviously sucks.
Everybody know that.
So I'm going to go with Ryan this week. Well, now wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Are you not putting? You're not putting Kareem Hunt in
No.
against Houston?
Because I think they're going to go up big in Kareem Hunt. If you look at his numbers,
Don't you, usually when you go up big, you give your running backs the ball a lot.
which is Nick Chubb, he's a
Yeah,
primary.
but I mean,
runner.
they're going to be
Kareem
beating
Hunt's
the
a pass
snot out
catcher.
of him.
Kareem Hunt's a pass catcher.
So he's not going to run the ball at all.
He'll run the ball, but he won't get the attention Chubb does.
I want it noted that I think you should put in Kareem Hunt for the week.
Noted.
Who would you put him in
hold
for?
on. Yeah, this man, you remember last week he told you to start Darnold over.
Who would you,
Rodgers.
so finish it? Who would you put him in for?
Would you take out Elijah?
Over Kittle.
Or take out the Kit Man?
Take out Kittle?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
I'd
Would
take
you-
out
I wouldn't
Kittle.
have seen that.
Second round pick?
No, I'm not taking him out.
Brian said, I'm writing this down. Brian says,
You
start-
took Kittle.
yeah.
Did you take Kittle first or did you take Waller first?
Hunt
Waller.
Okay.
over
Third.
Yeah,
Kittle?
Mhm.
Okay. I like it. The little prop bet right here. Little prop bet.
Slap bet.
Slap bet. Ooh.
Slap bet commissioner. Called it.
Yes.
All
Whoever
right,
wins
all
gets
right.
to slap the commissioner.
But overall,
What? No.
I'm gonna slap that commissioner.
overall,
Commissioner.
I'm picking Andrew to win this week.
All right, taking Andrew. Okay, gotcha.
And why? I like his. I like the Kittle matchup.
I think Kittle's going to dominate. I think it's smart that he's not starting Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb because let me tell you, they're going to go up big on Houston, right?
Big Chubb.
And they're going to run the football. Kareem Hunt's pass catching back. Chubb's going to get the ball.
I like it. Everybody know that.
All right, Ron, who you taking?
In my matchup, I'm
Smart
going
ass.
second.
Oh no, Jake, who you taking?
I'm going to take Ryan. I looked at the matchups here. He's got a lot of good matchups,
Mm-hmm.
and he did put up the most points last week.
Mhm.
And Scary Terry already got him 22 with his backup quarterback in. So I feel
Boy,
like
that Heineke guy.
Heineke. Headband Heineke.
Oh, he's got ultra.
I just like a lot of his matchups this week.
All right, got you down for Ryan. All right, I'll go next since y'all two are both involved in this. Looking at it,
Would you look at that?
Would you
I'm gonna
look at
take
this?
I'm gonna take Ryan because again, like Jake pointed out, McLaurin's big game on Thursday night.
You know, everyone picked against me last week. That's cool.
Brian's already picked for you.
Not
He's
everybody.
been
Not
smart.
everybody picked
No,
against you
literally
last week.
picked you.
Not everybody picked against you last week.
Whatever. I don't want to do this.
I did.
I'm not playing this.
Again, my question mark is just DJ Chark and Jalen Rager. That's my question marks.
His question marks his team name.
Bless you. Well, go ahead.
Is Hollywood Brown out?
That's why.
He's still questionable, but he's a 30 game.
Would you?
so
Okay, if you know he's a full go
I would
Sunday
start him
morning
over Rager.
over Rager,
Okay.
that might.
They're saying he's going to play.
That's not what it's saying.
Who
That's
is
not
they?
Let's check it out. Let's see
Big
what
right,
Yahoo's
Baltimore.
got to say. So Yahoo says Marquise Brown listed as questionable. Got in a limited practice Friday, so looks likely to suit up for Sunday night.
But you take the chance to put him in there and miss out on starting somebody else. And pull Brandon Ayuk.
True.
No, what you could do is
Brandon
you
Ayuk played though.
He put up 0.
You put him in the
That's
starting
what I
lineup
would
and
do.
ran around.
if he doesn't play, just leave him in your lineup. See how that works.
Yeah,
Just throw it out.
if Marquise Brown plays, I don't know. It makes it a lot tougher. But I'm gonna take Ryan just due to the circumstances right now. All right, who you taking?
Hold on, man. He's having a good
What do you
time.
think?
That was a good one.
There's
We don't like
there's
to
no
lie.
dialogue.
We have like that.
I'm thinking.
This is an only an audio medium here. So.
Andrew stares at the computer, a pensive look upon his face. His cheeks.
I think
flushing.
I'm gonna take me in this matchup.
Okay.
You know why?
I don't know.
Tell us
Because of Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Rager.
what a dynamic duo they are.
Well, I will say this: you do got a shot Monday night, no matter what. You could be down. You could be down literally 40, and you got a shot.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Because
You got a
I'll
shot.
be finished after Sunday night, and you have a chance for Rodgers to put up 60. So hopefully I'm up by 61.
Especially with that bad game last week, you got to think they're out to prove a point.
Bad game.
They got it.
Bad.
Get out of here. Bag it. But they're playing Detroit, so that's a good bounce back.
That is a good bounce back, and it's a division game. So you could be down going into Sunday.
Dynamite drop in there.
Oh, and Cleveland's defense too.
Oh yeah.
Actually, well, not who's Pittsburgh playing? Vegas. Ooh.
Vegas look good though.
They
So-
did. That's
so
what I'm
you
saying.
obviously
That's
feel
what
like
I'm
They put
gonna
up
be
2
a
good
close
games in a
matchup.
row.
Honestly, if Rager kind of makes me nervous, but I don't have any other option.
If
Because
Rager plays good,
Will Fuller's hurt. Marquise Brown's
Will
questionable.
Fuller's not hurt.
He's out for
He's
personal-
out. He's out.
He's emotionally hurt.
In his defense,
He's
the majority of the
usually
man's
hurt.
career he's been hurt.
And the one season he wasn't hurt, he was taking the performance enhancers.
Who would have thought though?
That he would enhance his performance. He's constantly hurt.
Well, I mean,
as
like-
soon as he didn't get hurt, we're like, yeah, he's taking something.
All right, so you're taking
I'm gonna
yourself,
take.
right?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
taking.
Ryan, who you taking?
Well, I can't pick Andrew out of contractual obligation, so I have to pick myself.
Okay. Is that the only reason?
That's the number one reason, but the other reason is that my number 3 wide receiver put up 22, and the other 2 wide receivers have really good matchups. So
Can I ask a question?
you can better than anybody I know.
Usually, when you pick against him, he wins.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
But-
can't do it because I'm not breaching my contract.
I would breach the contract.
Then it puts everything in shambles.
Because either I win, but
Or
I
you
go
lose.
against myself, and then I lose my morality. And I can't live with myself. I lose my.
pride.
I can live with a fantasy loss. I can't live with breaching a contract.
He's
Making a
got
promise
morals,
that I didn't
Brian.
commit. And I think I can take that chump down.
Not with
Pick
Jalen
yourself.
Rager in my life.
Oh, he does have Jalen Rager. Oh, I didn't think about that. I was going
the
against
one
Holmes.
that everyone's questioning.
You're questioning. You don't want to start him. You want to start
I got
Brown.
nobody else.
I should have never said that.
What's going to happen is I'm putting Debo Samuel in my lineup.
Debo.
because I think he's going to do good, and then he's just going to do the same thing my last San Francisco player did.
Is this going to be your Sammy Watkins?
You talking about Sammy Watkins that I drafted last year, didn't start week 1, who had a fantastic week 1, put him in week 2, and he got like 2?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, let's go to our third matchup. Our third matchup being Scorp v. Broach. Autobahn versus the Scorpion King. A 7v8 matchup. Original projection reading 134 to 138. That has changed in our live projection due to Antonio Gibson. We have 127 versus 138.
Yep.
So Antonio Gibson put up 8.3 on Thursday night. Rainy City, you want to start this one off?
Who is this again?
We got Broach
This
and
is Broach and Scorp.
Broach and Scorp. Okay.
So that's the lineups.
Not that matters. It's the teams that matter.
That's right.
Let's see.
You cracked me up, Bo.
Hold on. Let me think. About this.
Okay, you want to go to somebody else?
No, let me think.
Okay.
For a second. Ooh, Antonio Gibson didn't have too good a game.
He looked fantastic, though. When he got the ball, he was running about 8 or 9 yards a carry, but they just didn't give it to him a ton.
I'm not gonna lie. Overall, I thought the Giants looked good.
I did too.
I thought the Giants looked good.
I thought
You know,
both
it's the
teams looked
first
good.
time Daniel Jones has lost to Washington.
Is it really?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take Scorp.
All right.
It was. I
Didn't
think,
mean to interrupt you, fellas.
it's fine. I
We
mean,
were
well,
doing filler.
yeah, you were paused there.
Oh
for a little
yeah,
bit.
y'all put him on hold.
No, we were waiting on you.
I know, but you did like where they put you on hold and they play the music y'all were talking.
Remember, you used to have Metallica ring back?
Yes.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Nah, he went through a year and a half where Metallica was it.
It was to
They're
the point.
still good.
It was to the
But
point
you
where people were
don't
like,
listen to
"I'm going to text you and tell you to call me, so I don't have to hear that garbage."
What was your ring back?
I never had.
He never had
I never
one.
had a ring.
I didn't either.
You had
I
one.
did.
us losers.
Who was it? Who was it?
I think it was Chingy.
Chingy?
It was
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani.
No,
It was that BANANAS song.
Holla back, girl. Get the name right.
It was that BAU.
I don't know how to spell it.
Not
You get it.
bananas.
Go through. Do you think?
All right, so why are you
What
taking?
line?
Why are you picking score?
I didn't know we were giving explanations.
We've been doing it the
I-
entire time.
Okay, but back to the stat about Daniel Jones.
I think Najee Harris is going to have a breakout game. I think Vegas's defense. Who did Pittsburgh play last week?
Pittsburgh.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I think Vegas's defense is a little lighter on the run. I think Najee. Is it Najee?
Najee.
It's
You
Najee.
make up names, so you can call me whatever you
You
want.
just say Harris.
I'm gonna say Najee.
No.
Oh, Najee is gonna have a. He's gonna have a
He
breakout
only
game
needs
as a
one
rookie.
mic.
Dak and Herbert are gonna have a back and forth.
Okay.
I think Tennessee and Seattle could too, but Mike Evans playing Atlanta. There's going to be a lot of passing opportunities there. He's got a good matchup. He's got a good matchup.
So you feel comfortable taking score?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
All
like
right,
score.
got you down.
That's a good man.
Brian, who you
Draft's a
taking
good
here?
team. Not bad.
I mean, my biggest things between the quarterbacks because Prescott's going to be in an aired out game.
Yeah.
You
It's
would
going
think so.
to be a high scoring game.
Yes.
And if Tennessee looks like they did last week, Wilson could put up 40-some points.
Yes.
I mean, Dak's
Very,
going up
very
against third best quarterback in the league. So
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
I think
I'm
Birch.
trying to figure out who the two you put in front of them are.
I think Birch has a little more stability
Rodgers
this week,
darn
With
That's right.
just overall in his line.
okay.
Guys who kind of underperform, like Jefferson, for
Jefferson.
score, I think is going to have a bounce back week. I think DJ Moore's going to have a more consistent week.
Okay.
I'm going to still overall. I'm going to go with Scorp on this because
Okay.
I think Scorp's where I think
I think we all
Birch is
think.
going to have a better week. I think he'll end up going over his projection, but I see Scorp
Next
going
time.
over his projection as well. And
Okay.
I
We
just
do the math right.
I think Cook's going to do very well.
Oh,
I think
regalia.
Evans is going to at least have one touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Scorp.
I think there's potential in that Tampa for the Tampa side of things on offense. There's potential for each of those receivers to get a touchdown,
And then not play the
Which
second
part?
half.
and then not play the second half.
Yeah.
And then, in which Ronald Jones will have a comeback week
Yes.
potentially.
Come back.
Let's
He's
not
just
get
got
ahead of
to. He's
Do
just
you
got to.
think Gronk has 2 touchdowns this week?
No, I think it's
I
more.
do.
I think this is more a wide
I do.
receiver.
Do you think he has 3?
I think Gronk has 2 touchdowns this week. You can put that underneath the rest of it. It's just
Sure.
pretty much. I know.
What do you just get epiphanies?
Okay.
You just have these epiphanies.
Do you have epiphanies?
Are you the walking hot take?
I was the one
No,
that
he's
said that Sam Darnold was going to have
Nostradamus.
4
All right, Brian says
riders.
Gronk 2 TDs. Yeah, if you got any bold projections, well,
I'll give you a weekly.
I think Greg Olson's going to have 14 catches and 19 touchdowns for 7,000 yards.
That's stupid. Why would you say
I
that?
don't know. It's crazy talk.
We need to get somebody else filling in this spot.
I'll go next. Looking at this, I'm going to take Scorp as well.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, look
Why,
at this.
why would you take
For the reasons that you guys talked about, I think like Najee Harris, I think they got to try to get him involved again, like early, to kind of get some type of rhythm. And Big Ben does not look like I think Father Time is catching Big Ben.
And I think that offensive line
I'm going to get you.
sucks.
100% of snaps though? Like nobody's even competing.
No.
I mean, he's got all the opportunity in the world against a weaker defense.
All right, so I think Najee Harris could have a pretty good game here, or at least kind of like his first big game in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's going to have all the opportunity in the world to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he played 100% of the snaps last week.
Did he really?
That's what I hear.
That's a good stat.
100% of the time. He's in there every time.
What is that?
That's better than
And then
Sexton.
Antonio Gibson getting 8.3. That just hurts because Antonio Gibson, he was projected at 15.
Yeah.
And you expect when they play somebody like the Giants that, well, he's going to have a better game. Not
Right.
saying that he didn't play well. It's just, again, he didn't reach his projection. He was about, right over half. So I'm going to go with score. Okay. Ryan.
I'm going to go with Broach.
Of course you are, because his name's Andrew, and you don't like going.
Well, no, I'm not picking Scorp because Andrew picked Scorp.
Is that the main reason?
Pretty much contractually obligated. No, I think
So they have a rivalry.
Out of all the
I don't
guys that have
think-
a contract.
I don't think the Saints are going to blow out the Panthers like they blew out the Packers last week. So I think Kamara's
No,
got a
Panthers
chance
have
to
a better
eat.
quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't debate that.
I know you
That's
can.
I'm glad y'all are finally on board with the Darnold train.
Yes, I mean Kamara and Montgomery. I think they're going to have some good weeks, and then like Russell Wilson has a chance to do exactly what Kyler did last week.
Okay. Jake, who you taking?
I'm taking
Say
Roach.
Darnold fan you are now.
Choo-choo.
Guilty as charged.
All right, why are you taking Broach? Would you like to know
Receivers
why?
and
Would you
Montgomery.
like to know why?
Why? Huh?
The receivers and Montgomery.
What receivers?
His receiver.
You took Roach, you said? Brian was distracting.
So Woods, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, and David Montgomery.
Yeah. I understand.
Dallas secondary kind of got lit up last week.
Going to get lit up this week.
DJ Moore have a good week. Robert Woods will have a good week, and I think Montgomery will run all over Cincinnati. So that's why.
All right, you're taking Broach. Good deal. Let's go to our fourth matchup of Brian v. Michael. So we have victim of the system.
Brian Vince Michael.
Victim of the system versus
Attorney.
Heinz
At law.
57 sauce. So hard to say right now. Brian is projected to win in a blowout.
You dad come right now.
I think if Brian can beat Logan Thomas or Lance Bass,
Lance Thomas could,
stupid Duke fan over here.
maybe it didn't work out. I think he's okay.
So obviously our
I mean, he was a Duke
original,
for 17 years.
All I'm
so-
going to say is, man, invested a lot in Thomas for this week, and it's just not panned out.
he was really hoping he would score like around at least 130.
Yeah, he needed it actually.
Hard to tell exactly. So we got to look at Michael's bench. So
It's got a lot of people on it.
looking at Michael's bench, trying to figure out who he's starting exactly.
Chris Carson will start. Ridley will start. Antonio Brown will start.
Devontae Adams will start.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
Now we talked about this. Does he start Lamar over
Yeah,
Jalen
because
Hurts?
Kansas City.
KC, yeah, I think he does.
I mean, I think he does too. Just because, like I said last week, I would want to start players that I'm going to be able to watch in prime time.
And he'll have Denver in
But
against
who's Philly
Jacksonville.
playing?
Philly is
San
playing
Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, you go.
Who's starting at tight end? Jared Cook. God, I hate Jared Cook.
I like the team he plays for.
I hate Jared Cook.
You want to say why?
Why I hate Jared Cook? Dude, because I've picked up Jared Cook on multiple occasions. Like either because
He's your Lance Thomas.
I don't know who Lance Thomas is.
He's the guy that plays for Duke that I always say Logan Thomas instead of.
Okay.
Went to New York.
And did what?
He
Just
attempted
he
to
went
play.
to he went to Times Square,
Okay.
Saw the signs.
Dude, I've picked up Jared Cook on multiple occasions, and he'll like give me a goose egg or like 1 year I had the Rob Hausler year, I picked up Jared
The
Cook.
infamous Rob
Thinking,
Hausler year.
Oh, okay, good. I've solidified my tight end position. Jared Cook's just, and then that game against
You
Dallas.
didn't even
really didn't
finish
think this would
Jared
happen.
Cook's just.
I don't like
Jared Cook does this. He has an effect on people.
I don't like Jared.
Either way, Cook's not going to play this week for him.
Who is?
He's already got
Thomas.
He's already got Thomas
Oh.
in there. But yeah,
Stupid me.
yeah, we were just gonna go with it. Though.
Well, I hate Jared Cook. Now everybody knows.
Now that we've got that out there, how do you feel?
Better.
Okay.
Somebody pull up a calculator.
Wow. Jake, do
Try
math.
and get a
Jake, do
projection.
math.
Just go, and I got this.
Quarterback's going to be, who did we say?
Lamar.
Jackson, 26.7.
26.7. Got it.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Number one running back, no, wide receivers. Calvin Ridley, 14.7.
14.7.
14, so got it.
Devontae Adams, 18.8.
18.8.
Got
And got it. Probably could do this on the computer so people can
Antonio
see it.
Brown, 12.3.
Oh,
It's fine. I got
Hold
it.
on.
calculator.
Jake still trying to pull this up.
12.3. I got it.
Chris Carson, 15.2.
15.2. Okay, good. Got it.
What else?
Hines, 9.97.
9.97. Jake, that's a tough one. He's got two
Yeah, I
decimals
know. I
on
know.
that one.
Too much.
Wide receiver, tight end.
Is already Logan Thomas. Oh, you're talking
No, he's
about
talking about the flex.
Stupid
Oh,
me.
put in the 7.
The 7th?
7.
7.
Oh, okay.
7 points.
The
for
7th
Logan.
at 7 it is.
7. Got it. Carried it. Got it.
And defense?
Probably Myers for his tight
Oh,
his
for
flex.
his 21
Yeah, 11.15. Defense will be Denver,
11.15, Jake. Put that in there.
13.62.
13.62. Okay.
What you got?
Jake, what do you have?
130.
Yeah, I have 129.44.
120. Let me type that in. 129.44. Okay.
And
Well,
I
that's
shared with
Michael's-
Ryan.
So the math checks it. Let me check my calculator, see what it has. And equals 129.4.
Dang, Jay, that's pretty good, dude.
I can do
You're
math.
teaching the wrong subject. I'm going to call Hamilton tomorrow.
Do math.
All right, so 129.44 for Michael to 129.22. This changes everything.
It
Now-
changes nothing.
But Michael's projected to win.
Take that, funky cat.
All right, well, that changes everything. That's
I'm
why-
picking Michael just because of Jake's math.
Is that your main reason?
No, it's because I'm contractually. I haven't even looked at
Who
it.
taking it?
I didn't. I was so focused on the numbers, I didn't focus on the names.
Yeah, I was focused on trying to get that calculator up.
Yeah, I'm going to take Brian because he's got that Detroit backfield
I'm a
locked
human
up.
calculator.
Are you taking Brian?
Yeah.
Go.
I think Josh Allen has a chance to have a big week this week. He didn't do that well last week.
Nah,
He
they're playing-
struggled a lot last week.
division game. It's supposed to be raining though. That's what it looks like in Miami.
Raining on Sunday.
Mm.
Good song there. Anybody? No?
Nope.
It says
We
thunderstorms.
got it. We got it.
Thunderstorms. You hear that? Thunderstorms.
Yes.
That's the only thing it tells me.
Got you, Bob.
Let's see. You want to take it?
Take
Man,
that.
I'm not going to try and remember what Michael's got. I'm just going to say Brian because I can't see Michael's lineup.
Oh, well, I mean,
Nah,
it's obvious that we
See,
talked
so-
about. He's got Lamar at quarterback. He's got Devontae, Calvin Ridley, Antonio Brown at wide receiver. He's got Chris Carson at
All right, I'll
running
take
back.
Michael.
You want him over. All right, so why are you taking Michael after
Where
your
Arizona,
deliberation?
Atlanta.
Zach Ertz.
Atlanta
Oh.
and Tampa is going to be a shootout, so it's going to be throwing a lot. So Calvin Ridley's going to be the primary target for Matt Ryan.
Can it be a shootout if only one team scores?
It's gonna be raining there too.
I think Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's that good, but I think they got I think they still got a solid offense, like passing game.
I think they're
I
trying
think
to
Calvin
figure out
Ridley's-
Arthur Smith's offense, the new coach they got with the
I think.
Tennessee.
Adams playing Detroit.
Yep.
Antonio Brown playing Atlanta, who's a
Yep.
future defense, and
There's-
then
Good word.
Who was the other one?
Logan Thomas?
No, the other receiver, Calvin
Calvin
Ridley playing Tampa. Tampa's a good defense,
Think it's
but I
gonna
think
be a
they're going
bounce
to be
back week.
It's a bounce back.
because they're not going to be guarding the run. Are they? They're not worried about Mike Davis.
Brian's got Mike Davis.
You
Yeah,
got
he
him in your
does.
starting lineup?
No.
Right, he
No, he
does.
does not.
He's got the Detroit backfield.
I'm not going to start him against Tampa.
No, that's what I'm
Don't.
saying.
I mean,
That's all
Zeke
I
looked really good pass blocking.
I'm gonna
He got
take.
blown
I'm
up because I was
gonna
on
take
it,
He did.
Michael.
All right, got you down for Michael.
Jay, who you taking? Good luck with Logan Thomas winning that matchup.
And I'm going to go ahead and say this up front. I would like to know why.
You have to have a reason.
Brian, because it's his birthday.
Happy
Birthday!
birthday! All right, JT. Good call, Jay. We forgot about the birthday.
Who you taking and why?
It's a celebration.
I'm
Mm.
going to take Brian as well because I think Josh Allen's going to have a big game, bounce back game. He's projected 28. I think he'll outperform that, even though it is supposed to be thunderstorms in Miami.
Thunderstorms.
DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I like double up a backfield, and both of them look pretty good. DeAndre Swift is questionable. They said, let's look at his. He's upgraded to full practice on Saturday. All right. Dan Campbell says he'll be out there. I like doubling up that backfield, especially because Jamal Williams is a pretty good pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yeah, he
so
is.
That's a revenge game too.
I think
you're right. That is a revenge game. Good call.
good. I think Detroit last week, between the two running backs and Hawkinson, got like 65 or 70% of the passes that Jared Goff.
Yeah. Right. They don't have many.
They had 20
receiving
targets between
Their
the
number
three
one
of them.
receiver is Tyrell Williams that used to play for the Chargers.
And-
Who
but
they say
he-
might have
he-
brain damage. He's out with concussion, but they came out like Monday or Tuesday that he had brain damage.
Well, he was.
Calling concussions brain damage. now
Jordan
is
needs to
very
get better with his
strange.
breaking news. If that was Monday,
It was like Monday or Tuesday, I think.
Jordan's got to do better.
Let me ask you one question, though, bro.
Yeah, man. Is this Aguilar?
Yeah.
I knew it would be.
But have you thought about
Putting
starting?
in Landry?
Or Claypool.
How'd you not?
Because I figured you would. No, I'm not. That's still up in there. I'm not starting Claypool.
Not starting
I'm not
Claypool,
going to start Claypool.
but potentially could start Landry.
Yeah.
What's the split there? So.
Well, you got Landry on this side.
Odell's out
Aguilar.
again.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a gut feeling on Aguilar this week.
Okay.
That's the sole reason why.
Brian has gut feeling on
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
I think I spelled it right. All right. Okay.
It's on the screen.
Happy I didn't start Saquon. And I mean, I was going to Ryan's office a lot during the week and discussing.
What Ron said?
At first, he said, you have to start him. Then he said, I don't know if you should start him.
I said, you remember that whole, you got to start Saquon, you're going to kick yourself if he does dominant on Thursday night, and then like Thursday morning, whatever, I said, I don't think you can start him as much as they're talking about how he's going to be limited.
Saquon didn't look bad, but
It looked better.
They limited his touch.
I had
He'd
the
have one or
perfect-
two good runs, and then they're like, he's on the sideline for 3 or 4.
He
Well,
had
he
the
had
perfect
He
game.
had that 41-yard run.
Yeah.
Where he
And
looked
outside of that,
Yep.
it was 12 carries for 16 yards.
I
He had
was
one
happy
carry where
though. I was really happy. That's
he
what I
broke
want.
like 2 or 3 tackles, but you didn't break any tackles last week. And he
That's
looked
like
good.
the first time in his career he couldn't break a tackle.
Yeah.
Who missed?
But I think I was really happy to see that game from him. It makes me feel more confident having him on the team.
Yeah, he's got next week. He's got Atlanta, so that could be.
He'll be in the old lineup next week.
He's
If
got
you're going
Atlanta
to unleash him,
after-
that's the game you do it.
Yeah, I
After
agree.
10 days off,
Yeah.
you get Atlanta.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, he had a short week this week. He's got a long week next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
All right,
But the
knew-
Landry being put in will happen probably Sunday.
You knew going in when you drafted Saquon, though, these first couple weeks could have been rocky. Like,
Mark.
I mean, he wasn't even supposed to
Buddy, I would
play
almost
week
start
one,
him
Right.
like
over-
3 weeks before the season started. So
I don't know.
Can't start him over those.
No.
All right.
Well, maybe over him you could.
Over
Speak
Antonio
out loud.
Brown.
Speak
Well,
out
but you got Mike
He
Evans.
said-
You got Mike Evans, Gronk, and Chris Godwin. So
Ronald Jones.
that's the game they're probably going to be blowing them out. So there's going to be very minimal, not minimal. There's going to be limited passes, more runs.
All right, so
Carolina-
you're saying, all right. So just for clarity's sake, you're saying that Michael may be better off starting Robbie Anderson versus New Orleans instead of
clear.
Antonio Brown versus Atlanta.
I would say so because
We
Robbie
forget-
Anderson is what second option on Carolina passing wise.
who's
Yeah.
Claire T?
Aside from
Third.
McCaffrey. Aside from
All right,
McCaffrey.
second.
Wide
And
receiver-
the wide
Clarity.
receiver,
Who?
And
Who
they're
was
going to
Clarity?
probably be in a more close game. Where it's
You
gonna
said
require
Claire T.
more
sake.
you hope. I mean, the Panthers game comes down
running.
to
Antonio Brown to me, he could be the second option or he could be the fourth. You never know.
if
Because-
Moton can stop Jordan, the Panthers got a shot.
Well, Jordan's
But
unstoppable. I mean,
If
he's got
Jordan
his own
keeps
football
getting
team.
in that backfield,
Can I set these empty? Can I set them there?
Andrew
He's got
finished
clean
his
that.
drink before the podcast. Hooray! Pop top.
again, Andrew Ransdale.
The can opener.
All right, Jake, who are you taking here?
I was more of a
Or hold
cannonball
on,
guy.
sorry, you already told me. Brian, this is going to you because you're in the matchup. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's my fault.
That's all right.
Brian, who you take?
I'm gonna go.
Happy birthday!
I'm gonna go Mike. Happy birthday!
Happy
I'm gonna go Michael this week.
Who started that nonsense?
I don't know.
birthday!
But what I want to know is how many times on Friday do you think it got said in our office? I'm putting over under about 65 times.
Popular man right here.
Main thing is I feel like Michael's got more big playability this week than I do.
With his receivers?
Yeah,
I'm
receivers mainly. I mean, Antonio Brown, I'm expecting to have a big week.
Okay, so Andrew says take Robbie Anderson over AB, and Brian says that's stupid.
I agree with Brian.
Brian says Andrew's dumb.
That was actually Ryan said that.
Brian says no.
Man.
No.
No.
All right, let's go to our week 2 matchup of the week.
The mock dub.
Match of the week is going to be Jake of Turd Sandwiches versus bye week of Steve Reitmeyer.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Or
Yeah, you
Steve
inverse one of
Reitmeyer
those.
of bye week.
There it is.
There we go.
Now we're working.
Jake, I forgot your email was Tomahawk Gangster.
Long
I didn't forget.
I did. So original projection was looking at 133 to 131 in favor of Reitmeyer. That was the original projection. The live projection is 131 to 125 after Thursday night's game. Reitmeyer had Washington's D go, got him 5. All right,
D-go.
so you know what we do for matchup of the week, right?
We go.
Andrew, what do we do?
You just pick the winner.
Position by position.
You got
I don't know, Jake.
Let's get into it.
Quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Yeah.
Oh, quarterbacks.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow against Chicago
Against Joe Biden.
versus Matt Stafford against Indy. All right, Rams City, who you taking here?
And
Man, you can't do that, dude. I ain't even seen.
Okay.
I ain't even seen him play yet.
Give me a call to somebody else.
Yeah.
No, you already called.
Did you not
already.
do the summer reading?
Did anybody?
40.
Yeah, there was that one kid.
I'm gonna tell you, Matt Stafford's MVP candidate this year. And Stafford's gonna destroy it.
Thank you for taking my bold prediction.
He's gonna destroy it tomorrow.
I'm gonna take.
He'll go at least 10 over
Is that
projection.
Jake?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Jake.
Well, hold
Why are you
on,
talking to me like
dude.
I'm stupid?
Because we go position by
Oh,
position.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Stafford.
Well, what about the defense?
But in the matchup, I'm gonna take Jake.
Well, hold on, we're not there yet.
Oh, all right. Well, I might change my mind.
All right, let's just say this: Stafford or Burrow this week.
I'm gonna say Stafford.
Okay, Jay,
He's contractually obligated.
to get that confused about matchup of the week versus every other matchup.
But
I'm gonna-
Burrow's playing
I'm
Chicago.
gonna take
Wide receivers. Oh, quarterback.
All right, I'm taking
I'm gonna
Jake.
take Jake.
Jake's not playing quarterback. He's the fantasy manager.
Okay, so
He just had popcorn.
Stafford,
obviously.
Stafford. I'll take Stafford as well because that's
Who's
Chicago. D's
Who's
just-
the second quarterback?
He's not playing this week.
So Reitmeyer,
Zach
Zach Wilson.
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Versus
Okay, smart. Okay.
So you,
Smart, wicked smart.
All right, let's group our receivers together here. So for Reitmeyer, we have Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Lockett against Jakes, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Cortland Sutton.
I'm gonna. Can I? May I?
And
Go ahead.
Reitmeyer's wide receivers all day.
I like Reitmeyer's receivers here too.
Yeah. Just this week, I mean, but Lockett and CD Lamb's, like we said, he's going to be in that high. I think we all believe it's going to be a high scoring game.
Dallas is going to get shut down this week. I don't know what y'all are talking
I
about.
don't think that. Plus,
I don't
Michael
either.
Gallup's out. He's out for 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks. So
Yeah,
That's
Cedric
Josh
Wilson
Allen. A Josh
Cedric
Allen
Wilson.
redemption game always means good for Stephon Diggs.
the only
Yes,
thing
it
with
does.
Tyler Lockett, I heard a stat, is when he comes off a 100-yard game, he underperforms.
Yeah, it's for basically Tyler Lockett. Either he's getting 100 and a couple touchdowns,
Mhm.
or he's getting like 5 for 40.
Yeah.
and it's just DK goes off.
Yeah, I mean,
It's almost like the defense watches
Does
film from the
DK
week
goes
before. Yes, but
So
Andy,
you don't say
Andy,
DK, you say it's doing yourself.
So who are you
it's,
taking?
it's an elective surgery. I'm taking bye weeks.
Receivers?
Yeah,
Okay.
just receivers though, because I don't know about Cortland Sutton coming off of his injury. I don't know if he's still 100%.
I think Jake's going to win this matchup.
Okay.
The wide receivers.
What do you think about the wide receivers?
I think he's going to win that too. Who's he got?
AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Cortland Sutton.
What's AJ stand for? You think?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm thinking about the matchup.
Look, man, just don't. Not right now. Just wait.
Those defenses, though.
Reitmeyer's got Diggs, Lamb, and
Who did
Lockett.
y'all take?
I think everybody took Reitmeyer so far.
I'm going to take Jake.
Okay. Jake?
Speaking of what Ryan said, I don't know who's going to be wide receiver 3 right now. I've got like 4 different options.
All right, so outside of Cortland Sutton, Jake
Chenault.
has Chenault,
Inside
Tyler
of Cortland
Boyd,
Sutton, though.
Marvin Jones Jr., Christian
Okay.
Kirk. Which one would you lean to, Jake?
You're the manager.
I like Marvin Jones Jr. a lot.
I like him, but Chenault had a crap ton of targets last
He
week.
did.
He just didn't get in the end zone, didn't really go for
Chenault's
any
going to get your touches, but less of a chance of a touchdown, I think, whereas Marvin Jones gets those bomb touchdowns.
Do you
Yeah.
like having both like Jacksonville receivers? Like
Well,
after what you saw from Trevor Lawrence last week?
They threw it a lot and didn't get the ball to James at all. So I guess I kind of was waiting to see who could take the.
I mean,
the
Shark
number
got
one.
like 12 targets. I think,
Yeah,
last
so
week.
like I don't know, maybe it is Shark or maybe it's week by week kind of thing. The other option I even considered was Tyler Boyd because he does have Joe Burrow, so it might hope for an
Even
offset
out,
there.
yeah.
Christian Kirk looked like he's going to get a crap ton of one-on-one deep ball targets, so
Good.
I think he's either under 9 or he doubles up on 9. I think he's very touchdown dependent, but I think he could get a bomb and just one catch makes it worth starting him. So
With all that said, who you going with?
I don't know.
Leave it blank if you can't make a decision. Take that.
Funky cat.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Who'd you pick? You?
No, I'd pick
I picked you.
Right, Myers
a couple
receivers.
times I picked
All right, let's take a look at the running backs. Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor for Jake, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders for Reitmeyer.
I'm going to take Jake.
It's not your turn.
No, seriously, after what you just read, I'm going to take Jake. Oh, is it not my turn?
You
How
can
are we
go.
doing this?
I'm joking,
Just-
buddy. It was your turn.
Just let the man.
I'm going to take Jake.
Let
I'm
the
going to
man
take
go.
Jake.
Take Jake. Okay, so you
I
like
don't like
Ezekiel
Miles
Elliott in
Sanders.
backup game, like in a not a backup game, but in a bounce back game. Excuse me.
That's
Well, I mean, the Chargers are a good defense, but I like Ezekiel Elliott over Miles Sanders.
Okay.
I like Jonathan Taylor over Miles Sanders, even though Taylor is playing the Rams.
What about Aaron Jones?
But Montgomery did good
Against
against the Rams.
What do you think about Aaron Jones? Rodgers gonna have a big game.
It's
I think Jones will have a big game.
It's
It's
halftime of the
Jones-
UNC Virginia game.
It's Jones versus Elliott. I'd probably take Elliott.
Is Bronco Mendenhall the best name for a football coach?
Ooh, I didn't see Joe Mixon.
I think
I'm
the
sorry,
best
man. I
coach
didn't
is
mean to
Bill
interrupt you.
Belichick.
I mean, I interrupted you.
No, it
already.
I would
goes,
take
that
Joe
goes in the
Mixon.
flex. That goes in the flex.
I'd take. Well, he's a running back though.
But we'll
We
get
get-
to
we-
that
we-
in the flex position.
because
he's
it
a
doesn't
running
have
back.
to be a running back.
It's a running back against a running back in the
Running
flex
back.
position, therefore it's a running back.
Running
Against
back,
the running back.
y'all.
But whenever we talk about who
Why are
would
we
do
gonna
better in
wait to
flex,
talk? Why can't we just do it now? If it's all one.
Why can't we do the 2022 draft now?
I think Aaron Jones is going to have a big week, but I also think Elliott has a little bit of a bounce back week.
No,
I'm going to take Jake's running backs this week.
Okay. Brian?
I'm taking Jake's running backs. Just because I don't
It's good to
I
be
don't
named
think-
Jake when Ryan gets picked.
I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to get a lot of rushing yards, but he got a lot of pass work last week, and the Rams pretty good run defense.
Yeah.
Even though David Montgomery looked good against them last week when they actually gave him the ball. So
Hey, you got my chew.
Chewbacca.
I don't know, man. Miles Sanders, I thought looked pretty good last week, and I didn't expect that.
Hey.
I thought Miles Sanders would have.
You got my chew.
I don't know what I think about Miles Sanders. I'm going to take Reitmeyer here. I think Green Bay is going to get back on track. Right now, the weather for that game, they're calling for
Thunderstorms?
chance of thunderstorms.
Oh,
Not saying I'm just kind of hedging my bets a little bit against
Lady Pope.
if
She
Rodgers
can't-
doesn't
what
have
she's
like a
doing.
huge game. I think Aaron Jones could be a beneficiary again, like just with the weather. And I'm not I'm not counting Zeke out.
What are
I
you
just
counting?
I just want to see it first.
Yeah.
You don't think A.J. Dillon can have a big game in that game if Green Bay goes up big and they just say, let's savor Aaron Jones and put A.J. Dillon in and see what he's got?
Savor him?
After the week they had last week,
I think
I think they need
they're
to
out
come
to
out and make a
prove a
statement.
point.
I think they want to put up 50.
I think they do too.
It's
So,
the NFL. Nobody ever puts up 50 unless it's a shootout. They're
Unless
trying
you're-
to run the clock.
Unless you're late 2000s
AKA
Patriots against the
Atlanta
Dolphins.
against New England in the Super Bowl.
huh?
Didn't Atlanta start running the ball and then New England just kept throwing and beat them in the Super
That's
Bowl?
why
Yeah.
you just put your foot on your that's why you don't
Right.
nail them to the
No,
floor.
I see a
Bodies
huge,
scored
I see a
50 in a
huge game
shootout.
for Green Bay. So I'm going to take
Right
Myers,
Okay.
running backs mainly on Aaron Jones. Jake, running back wise,
I'm gonna take me because I think both of mine get in the end zone. I do not think Miles Sanders gets in the end zone.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup against San Fran.
Yeah,
it is.
Was
It is.
anybody shocked that
Taylor's a tough matchup against Rams, though.
Boston
but that
Scott
evens it
didn't
out.
get
I
any
would
work
pick
this
Taylor
last
Cleveland.
week, and it was all Kenneth
Was
Gainwell?
anybody surprised? Yeah.
Well,
Boston
but-
Scott, I think
'Cause, like,
Boston Scott's
all-
a very
yeah,
good
I
running
feel like
back.
all offseason people are like, well, it's Miles Sanders, but he's going to be splitting time a lot with Boston Scott. Boston Scott's going to be a lot more involved. And then it was basically Miles Sanders, and when Miles Sanders wasn't on the field, it was Kenneth Gainwell.
I tell you,
I hated that.
the other thing I looked for
Right.
this week is, a lot of people have been counting Zeke out, and even myself question a little bit. I feel like Dallas is a team when one of them get called out for like, are they done or not? They come out and almost force feed to kind of like prove like he still got it or something like. People question if Dak was ready to go, and they came
Yeah.
out and threw him
The
40 times. Yeah, I know.
Well,
So, I feel like this week they're not going against the best up front seven and not in a shootout. Maybe he can get a little bit more. Sorry, Chargers are not as good as Tampa on the front seven.
That's a very intuitive, coach-like thought that you've had
I
there.
mean, it's
I feel like that's
misinformed, but
where- I feel like that's the only thing is I feel like both of them will get in the end zone.
So
Okay.
we did talk about at the end of the podcast last week that Zach Martin wasn't playing
Yeah.
for the Cowboys
True.
week
Good
1.
point.
He's back.
Yeah.
But Lyle Collins, the right tackle, is now out for like 5 games for PEDs or whatever he used. So
Pads.
they get their all-pro guard back, but they lose their right tackle. So they gained one and lost another.
They gained a better one, though.
Yeah, and I think they're on their third string right tackle because I think their backup right tackle is also hurt.
Okay.
So-
Good info.
I mean, he's going against Joey Bosa, so they'll just run on the other side.
True.
You
Well,
run
we
away
chose
from him.
Yeah, you run away from him.
All right, looking at tight ends, Cole
Joey
Kmet
Bosa.
versus
Oh,
Kyle
yeah,
Pitts. I'll go first on this. I'm taking Kyle Pitts. Tampa, they're going to have to throw the ball. Kyle
Yeah,
Pitts
lit up
could
in the
easily,
secondary
be a huge beneficiary of Matt Ryan's passing attack. Taking Kyle
He's no
Pitts, but-
Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin. He's better than both.
True. Ryan, who you taking here? Tight end.
Cole Kmet, my man.
You're not taking Cole
Okay. Did you watch Sunday Night Football?
Kmet. No.
Exactly.
Are you really taking Cole Kmet?
No, give me Cole Pitts.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, Brian.
But I did think Cole Kmet looked good from just a visual standpoint because Andy Dalton doesn't throw the ball downfield.
That's a good
I'm
one.
taking Cole Kmet.
Are you really?
Yeah.
He did look good. I wasn't.
Yeah.
For Kyle Pitts, really?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
I'm just curious.
I think.
No,
I don't think
now
Matt
you start
Ryan's
to
going to
change your
have.
mind because he's questioning you.
No.
I'm trying to. I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't see Matt Ryan having a great game at all. I think Tampa's going to be in his face all game. And
I think that's a good point.
I think Pitts will get some receptions. And if Pitts gets a touchdown, then yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Because I don't see Kmet getting a touchdown. But I see, I think Cole Kmet's going to have a good game. I really, really do. And because you're going to see Fields come in probably by the end of the third quarter at the latest.
Do you think he takes that job for good this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew?
They're going to be in
I
a
hope
winnable game against Cincinnati.
So you want Andy Dalton as a
I want
Bears
Andy
fan?
Dalton starting all 16 games this year. If you
Why?
want to put because you don't. The most successful quarterbacks have sat for the first year. Yeah, they've sat under relevant quarterbacks ahead of them.
No, they sit,
But they
they
weren't
sit for a
forced in.
game.
Look what happened with Trubisky. Not that he was talented coming in. I don't know. I didn't watch him much. But he came in as a high draft pick. They forced him in from behind Mike Glennon. And he took all the pressure from the crowd. Everyone was saying, start Trubisky, start him. And then his confidence got shot because he started losing. People started questioning his talent. And now he is who he is. You put Fields in, you can't take him back out.
You're right. You can't take him back out.
So you put him in and he struggles, you can't bench him because that's really going to wreck his confidence. You keep Andy Dalton in when you know you don't have the team that you want right now. You draft a wide receiver or something to put with him next year like they did with Pat Mahomes.
Do you think they didn't throw the ball down the field last week strictly because they were playing the Rams, or is that going to be the offense?
I don't think they threw the ball down the field because I don't think Andy Dalton can throw the ball down the field.
Well,
But if you've got
7 targets last
Allen
week.
Robinson and
Allen Robinson is
Darnell Mooney, Darnell Mooney's a deep threat who's very good.
He is, but
they-
Justin Fields is more talented, but you don't put him in right now because it's going to be just like Trubisky.
I think the argument though
I'm all
is
for
because
let Dalton start and whatever happens.
He's too
Draft
little.
and get
the
guys with
the quarterbacks that have sat and then been good,
He's an
that
Irish fella.
team was good. Like
That's the difference.
right, well that team was already good. So like, all right, hold on. So like Aaron Rodgers sat, but he sat behind Brett Favre. They were
Exactly.
winning football games.
Yep.
Tom Brady sat, but again he
Sat
came in
behind Drew Bledsoe.
Drew-
Tony Romo sat behind Drew Bledsoe.
Those were like good teams. Steve Young, Joe Montana, like
Right.
Pat Mahomes,
Joe
Alex
Montana.
Smith.
Right.
Like,
Justin
those are already
Herbert sat 1
winning
week behind
teams.
Tyrod.
So it's easy to say, hey, we're going to sit our guy
Right,
when
right.
teams are winning.
Right.
But when teams are losing, again, like, you got to think about fan base, you got to think about attendance, you got to
There's
think
only
about what's
one.
best
There's
for the
only
team.
one quarterback I can think of, and I'm probably wrong, but there's only one quarterback, that's came in and been successful
Andrew Luck.
from
Russell
the rookie
Wilson.
season. Russell Wilson,
Andrew
which
Luck.
he wasn't what he is now as a rookie,
I mean, he was.
Cam Newton, they go to
Cam
Super Bowl.
Newton.
and Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson came in and he was good.
Until he got hurt, he was 5 TDs a game.
Hey, man, had struggled his first year.
Robert Griffin III.
What about?
But that's the only year he had.
Yeah, I mean, he won Rookie of the Year and led him to the playoffs.
I feel more.
Vince
confident-
Young.
Vince Young did.
I feel
Vince
more
Young
confident.
Vince Young had terrible stats, but that daggone Tennessee team won when he started.
He did.
I feel better
Cam Newton
with the
broke
bad
the passing record
surrounding
both years.
cast. You know it's a
First
bad
year.
surrounding cast. Not that Allen Robinson or Montgomery's bad, but your offensive line's
Kyler
not there.
Murray.
We got to get back on.
Your secondary, your second receivers not proven. Your tight ends not proven. Wait, get your offensive line better, then push your rookie in.
So you taking Cole Kmet?
No.
Who you taking?
Okay.
Would you take Cole Kmet if like Justin Fields was starting?
Probably.
Okay, because he's a better quarterback.
He is more talented, but man, he has one bad game. You can't take him out.
All right, Jake, Cole Kmet, Kyle Pitts.
And,
Because Andy
and I did
Dalton
say
started.
Andy Dalton can't pass over 10 yards.
No, I actually thought
Can he not?
that's where they
He
got
really
lit up
can.
last week was underneath
That's all
Tampa
he
Bay,
does.
and
Yes.
I think he might get pressured up front, look for a quick dump off, and I think the underneath guy is going to be Kyle Pitts. I don't know if he'll get in the end zone, but I could easily see him having like 8 catches for 80 yards.
He's the best red zone target they have because they're going to double Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, every team's going to from now on.
Good call. All right, flex matchup is Joe Mixon versus Melvin Gordon.
They're running
Joe
back.
Mixon taken again at Chicago and Melvin Gordon at Jacksonville.
I'm going to take Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon. I'm gonna take Joe Mixon.
I'm going Joe Mixon. He had 33 touches last week.
I think the volume is just tough to beat.
I
think
think it's going to be Joe Mixon. It's not going to be close.
I think my running back on the bench is going to outperform Melvin Gordon.
I don't think
Javonte?
Melvin Gordon's-
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Javonte is going to get. I think they want to give him the keys to that offense, that backfield.
But how do you do that after the week Melvin Gordon had
Dude, he
last
had
week?
one run.
He had one
He
run
had
for
a
70 yards.
He had
That's it.
11 rush attempts.
Is
And
that 101
And I think Javonte had 10.
Williams had 14.
Yeah, so Javonte got more carries, just that one run for 70 yards.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Who you take now?
I'm going to take Joe.
Joe Mixon had more touches than Matt Stafford had throws last week.
Joe Mixon was like that last year, too, though. He got 25, 28 touches.
I
He,
think
he
the
only played
offense
like
is
5
always
games
gonna
last year because he had that stupid foot injury. Like, we should put him on the IR. No, let's just put him as
He had that
questionable.
foot injury, and then Joe Burrow got hurt. That was just a disaster for
I
them.
think the big thing is
And
they
their
did invest a
offensive
little
line
bit
was
into the offensive line in the offseason. The offense is finally becoming like what Joe Burrow had in college. He's got weapons in different spots. And now it's making defenses like take a man out of the box to stack over a receiver. And this is the first time in Joe Mixon's career he's had favorable numbers in the box.
That helped.
Yeah,
True.
and
That's
so
true.
and like you got to remember he was in Cincinnati when it was really bad, and everyone put like 9 in the box and man,
With Andy
those-
Dalton?
yeah, with
If only they had a backup quarterback.
So
I'm not on your side on that.
maybe he doesn't stay healthy this year, and maybe they really start air raiding because that's what apparently everyone wants to do now is like hand it to a running back 10 times a game and throw the quarterback 40 times a game, and maybe his stats drop off. But
Zach Taylor
I think
came
they
out
realize a good balance, and I think he's going to have a big week.
Yeah, I think Zach Taylor came out of McVay's system, so they'd like to establish a run. So I think Mixon's going to stay involved. Maybe kind of like how they used Gurley with the Rams early on. That's how it looked last week.
Did Romo sit behind anybody, or he come in?
He sat behind Bledsoe.
He sat behind Bledsoe.
If you want to have a superstar quarterback, you
Sit behind
get Bledsoe, and then he gets hurt, and then you get Tom Brady and Tony Romo.
You can do a lot worse.
It's a lot, New York.
All right. Rivers didn't though, right? Or
He sat behind Breeze.
Yeah.
And then they traded Breeze.
Breeze was a free agent because he messed his shoulder up.
That's
he was
right.
supposed to go play for the Dolphins.
See,
Saving.
that's where I'm torn. Like Andy Dalton's not on the level of those
No.
guys, but you're almost saving
Breeze wasn't
Justin
that good in
Fields
San Diego,
from disaster.
If Andy Dalton was a better quarterback, then I get it.
Yeah.
If he had a
But
different hair
not very
color,
Do you just push a guy in there when your offense isn't even?
He was the backup quarterback. He didn't even start last year.
Is the offense that bad? Like Montgomery's looked pretty well. They got 2 or 3 targets.
They're
actually-
too
offensive,
conservative.
their offensive line is terrible.
Well, I can tell you from a team that threw a quarterback out there with maybe one of the worst offensive linemen I've ever seen.
you talking about the Texans with David Carr.
That and Byron Bell, but he fell down multiple times without ever touching a
Not
soul.
Byron Bell.
So-
He blocked the ground better than any tackle I've ever seen in my life.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
No.
Like, I do understand where Andrew's coming from. Like they're clearly not
They
going to
pushed
win now.
Trubisky.
If you put your quarterback in there, your franchise quarterback, and he gets banged up or destroyed a confidence, you wasted a pick.
A high pick
Yes,
that you traded up for yet again.
that's another big thing.
All right, last question. Does San Francisco score more points for
Yes.
Jake than 5?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm going to take more than 5.
Just for the sack numbers that defensive line can
That's
get.
true.
And because Jalen Hurts holds on. Jalen
He does.
Hurts holds on to the ball a long time, so he's got a chance. To
I'm
get
saying
sacks.
San Francisco at least gets 6.
Washington's defense.
Struggled the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they sacked Herbert at all.
They
And
got
I
4
think they
sacks
only
the other
had
night.
4 sacks the other night. And
4
that's
sacks is pretty good, but they gave up a lot of points.
But
They didn't have any turnover.
They were playing against the Giants, whose one of their offensive linemen snapped his leg in half.
True. That's
So,
true.
I think Washington's defense was projected to be one of the best in the league, and they have looked fine, but they haven't looked dominant like they were talked about.
So you're going with
Yeah, I think I'm going San Fran just because the 5's already there. And I don't think it's
hold on. Let's stick with defenses.
I thought we were doing
Not yet. Who you taking between these defenses?
San Francisco or Philly versus Washington versus the Giants. Washington's probably gonna get like 5.
I mean because
There could be stat corrections. I don't know.
I'll take San Fran.
All right, San Fran.
Me and Andrew agreed on something.
I don't know what to do with y'all.
No, San Fran. Yeah, San
They'll
Fran
at
will
least
do very
get.
well.
They'll at least
Yeah,
get
they'll
6.
get,
It's at least gonna be a push.
They still got a Bosa starting, so
Jake,
they got the best bus to
San
start.
Fran.
San Fran. All right, so let's take our
Yes.
matchup of the week. Who are we taking? I'll start off. I am taking Jake.
All right.
I'm taking Jake.
Jay.
Ryan? You're
I
Ryan.
took Reichmeyer on wide receivers, and I think I took Jake on everything else. So
Taking Reichmeyer?
I'm going to go Jake. I said I was trying to figure out what I took Reichmeyer on. It was just the 3 wide receivers, so I'll go Jake.
B-Rob.
I'm gonna go Jake.
Go Jake.
Jake.
Taking Jake.
I said that since
I mean,
Yeah,
you did call
you
this
did.
matchup early
You
on.
did. Jake?
It's you.
I've already went. I
Oh.
picked you.
I'll pick me.
All right, so we got clean sweep for Jake over Reichmeyer. With, again, live projection being 131 to 125.
This is right where Reichmeyer likes to be. Doubted by the entire league.
True. Hey, dude, he's...
Who is his Dalvin Cook, though?
Does he have Dalvin Cook?
No, he had Dalvin Cook last year and
Oh,
carried him like
Yeah,
by
but
single-handedly.
that's a very Ryan Robertson thing for you to do. Who says Dalvin Cook and him having Dalvin Cook?
Yeah.
That's why I had to
I
ask.
saw what you did there.
All right, so any closing thoughts on week 2?
Ready for it.
We're already past week 1.
Not quite to week 3.
Yeah.
So, one quick question. Out of all the matchups we looked at, not in terms of fantasy, but NFL games, which game do y'all think is just going to be an absolute shootout? Like, which game do you think could be a very high-scoring game?
I like KC Baltimore. I like that because Baltimore's coming off a loss to a team they should have beat. KC's a high-powered offense. I think that's going to be your game of the week this week. I think both teams
Put it on
put
prime
up-
time.
They should, I think both teams are scoring 28 plus.
I'm
Yeah.
going Dallas Chargers.
425 Sunday, Dallas Chargers. Okay.
I'm going with that one too.
Okay.
I think Minnesota and Arizona has potential
Yeah, I
if
do
Kirk
too.
Cousins turns on.
That's a good call.
So,
I think Kirk Cousins threw for over 400 yards last week.
did
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is a weird one, man. Kirk Cousins can be one of like a really good quarterback. Not great, but a really good
he? Where's that
quarterback.
game at?
He can be
gets in his
Minnesota or
head too
Arizona?
They can also be awful.
It's in Arizona, I think.
I can check for you. I think that's right. I think the bottoms are home teams.
If it says versus beside it.
Last
that's
meeting
the
was in 2019, and Minnesota won 20-9. It told me that when I clicked on it.
That's an odd but useful stat.
That is. Hold on. I'm going to check these other ones, too. Hold on. So y'all said L.A., Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So last time they played, I'm going to tell you when that
I'm
was.
pretty sure that was
probably
Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and
They
the
did
Chargers
Harvard.
destroyed them.
All right, let's look.
Pretty sure.
Good gracious.
Last meeting, you're right. November 22nd, 2017.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen went off with
Chargers
2
beat
touchdowns.
Dallas 28-6. I'm going to check that Baltimore KC.
Blowout, son.
Let's see. Their last meeting was last year. September 28th, 2020.
Kansas
KC
City
won
won.
34-20. Jake, what matchup? What do you see in here? What game?
I like what everyone else said, just to be different. Titans Seahawks game could be a high scoring one. But the one I'm actually going to go with is the Bills and Dolphins. Kinda interested in
What
this.
sticks out to you about that game? Because that game seems like it could be like Buffalo.
Yeah,
One-sided.
Yeah.
I feel like Buffalo kind of underperformed last week. I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to throw the crap out of the ball. I don't know if they have a running game at all, so I think they're going to come out and air it. And then I think the Dolphins are really buying into like, let's air it out to some of these speed guys that we got. Jalen Waddle had a big week last week.
Yeah, he looked good.
Waddle, waddle.
So yeah, a little dark horse action there. Bills and Dolphins game could be a high score.
Do you know what the score was to the last meeting?
I don't know. It was last year.
January
Yeah.
2nd, 2021. It
They
was
played-
this calendar year.
They play each other twice a year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. It was in Miami, wasn't it?
No,
It's
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Don't know that.
56-26.
That's about to say. I think it was a high score.
No.
That could be a high scoring game.
I mean, that's a blowout, but it's still like 80-some points.
Yeah, but Miami looks better.
Yeah.
Like Miami looks better.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, again, they lost to Pittsburgh in week 1 where they did not look good at all. So, good call there.
Redemption.
We'll see how it plays out. So, for everyone here at the Fantasy Football 5,
Okay.
We outie.
we out. We wish
Like
you a good
baby's
week.
belly buttons.
Everyone but Reitmeyer have a good week.
Everyone.
Wow.
Have a good week, Steve.
Everyone.
I mean, today's the last day.
Jordan, yeah. Jordan, I hope you have a terrible week.
Because he's a ginger.
Always.
That's fair.
Yes.
All right, and we're out.